Cheers, successful
guys.
2023.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'll talk about whatever. My life's all kinds of crazy.
Hit the bell!
Because you have an Android.
Oh, yeah. That's just suck. Just subscribe already.
Your company.
Name of the company is First Class Flatwork.
First Class Flatwork. And you're primarily out of St. Louis, Missouri?
Yeah, St. Louis, mostly St. Louis County, Franklin County, St. Charles County. Do a lot. Most of our work's in Franklin County, primarily the Washington area, stuff like that. But we do travel to St. Louis, stuff like that. Going on 2020, so 3.5 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you're young too.
Yeah.
23.
Yeah.
What age did you start doing it?
Right after I turned 21.
Okay.
It was a shot in the dark. It was a complete shot in the dark, and I'm stoked at this point in my life that I did it. At the moment, it was a 50-50. I was really scared.
When you started it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, yeah. I was scared, didn't know what it was going to lead to, but at the time,
At 21 to start a business?
in the middle of COVID.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's tough too.
In the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much going on at the time.
I definitely want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I admire any young entrepreneur. I don't care what business they're going into. Like, I don't care if they're flipping baseball cards on eBay.
Right.
Like, I love entrepreneurs, and I love the people that are willing to just go out and try it, because nobody else, like most people don't go down that path. So like the people that are willing to try it, I'm like, kudos to you.
The story's crazy.
Well, we're gonna wrap back around, but you want to try some of these bourbons? Let's try. We can try all of them. We can try some of them. The cool thing about Tom, I'd love to get Tom on here. Tom, if you're freaking listening, come on the podcast, dude. But I think what it was is he originally started out, like, I think maybe, I don't know if he had the plan to start distilling from the very beginning. I think so, because from the very beginning, it seemed like he was always buying equipment, like slowly buying it.
At the Crooked Moon, that is.
At the Crooked Moon. So it was a restaurant bar combo, but he was, from the very get-go, like stocking stuff up in there, like stills and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was never, he made like some moonshine, and he had some of his own, like some batches that he would sell in-house. But I think what it comes down to is, I think, especially in a small town, and you probably understand that it's difficult owning a restaurant, because like when a restaurant opens up in a small town, everybody wants to nitpick it. You know, like
sure.
they want to go there and the beer's not cold enough, their steak wasn't cooked right, the service wasn't fast enough, the prices aren't good enough for them, and it's like, dude, there's not a lot of people in a small town that even have the guts to go out and try to start a business, and then you don't even give them like the time to get better. And so I think that's, like, Tom, I think, did do good, but I think business just wasn't it. And it was partly during COVID too, so like all bars were basically dead. But yeah, I think he just struggled very hard on the restaurant bar side, and then he was actually seeing potential, because with a bar and a restaurant, you can only sell to your community and the surrounding communities. Like, maybe someone is going to travel if your food's really, really good, but your primary business is going to be your local business.
Right. It's not like we're in St. Louis. I'm not going to go, there aren't people from 50, 60 miles away saying, hey, let's go to Crooked Moon tonight.
Exactly.
Me and my buddies, hey, we're going to go to Ballpark Village, but that's planned weeks out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it's going to be big. And yeah, Crooked Moon, it's, and not just Crooked Moon. I'm going to just quit saying Crooked Moon, but any local restaurant or local bar,
right.
You never know if it's going to be busy. You never know if it's going to be dead, especially in a small town. Like, it's most of the time it's going to be pretty dead. Like, it's just not, I think what he's seen with this, like with selling bourbon, is he can sell it to the entire world.
Literally.
Like, literally the entire world. As long as he can get it on a plane, a boat, or a semi truck, he can sell it. There's no one, he can make a website, anyone can buy it, he can ship it overseas, he can do whatever he wants with it. So now you got the whole world as your market versus just your small town and its surrounding communities of nitpickers.
And like regarding bourbon, or his bourbon, I should say, that comes down to quality, right? So as long as his quality is there, he's going to sell his product.
Yeah. His
product's going to sell. Whereas back to the small town bar restaurant thing, your product could be there, but you could just have people that are just unhappy. I mean, they're just looking for a negative, right?
Yeah.
And they go out of their way and do this, that, and the other, and you might have 3 bad reviews, which doesn't sound like anything, but for a small business owner, word of mouth is everything. And
Yeah. One person says like, oh, that place sucks because I had to wait 30 minutes for my food.
exactly.
And then all of a sudden, now you hear it twice. And then everybody else is like, I ain't going there. The wait's too long.
100%.
You know, and it's just tough.
100%.
It's tough. And yeah, you get a couple batches of bad food, or you have a bad go around with a bad cook.
Right.
You know, it's bars are late nights, weekends, drunks. You know, people puking on the table.
Fights. 100%.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
Well, let's pay our respects to this guy. Let's try this thing.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a bourbon man, but I'll definitely give it a whirl.
I'm not much of a bourbon either. If you're not much of a bourbon, we could probably try this one because it's
Actually,
bourbon.
Let me rephrase it. I shouldn't say I'm not a bourbon man. I don't drink a lot of liquor itself regarding whiskey and all that, but so I probably can't tell the difference between that and that. But
Oh, you'll be able to tell the difference. Okay, so let me explain something real quick. The alimony is cool. One, he's got a cool name, but it is
really
bourbon.
cool name.
Yeah, and if you know Tom's story too, it makes it even cooler.
Need to get on the podcast so I can hear it.
Yeah, come on, Tom, come on the podcast. But it's just really cool. It is a good bourbon. The Planters Highland, Ozark Highlands, in I think it was 2021, they made it Ozark Highlands an official style whiskey.
Really?
So you can only get Ozark if it's made with this wheat and it contains this much of that wheat, it is an Ozark Highlands whiskey. Yeah, it's like an official thing.
Like it's broke down to a science.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like maybe like St. Louis style, like the pizza.
Yeah.
Is that Provel? What's on Emo's pizza?
Provel cheese, yeah.
Provel.
And the square style and everything else.
Yeah. I think if you put Provel cheese on a pizza in Florida, they had to call it St. Louis style cheese.
Yeah.
They can't just call it Provel.
Right.
So I think it's something kind of like that. Like it's Missouri's own kind of thing. It's good. And then that's just what I really like about it. This liqueur, this is just really good. Like it's sweet. It tastes like,
Really?
yeah, it tastes like bourbon, but with Splenda in it or something. You know, like easy. It's dangerously good.
This guy nailed the science, by the way. He did good.
Yeah, he's got a cool story about it too. Because he got the recipe from his family that grew up in Louisiana.
Wow.
Yeah, and so they grew up in the swamplands with the gator and all that.
That's cool.
He said their families used to trade liquors back and forth. That was like their peace treaty.
This thing deserves a movie almost from the backstory.
It's a cool story for sure. Yeah. And that's why I want to bring people on the podcast. Because a lot of people have these awesome stories that they worked very hard to go through all this stuff. Just like you, I want to hear what made a 21-year-old boy want to start a flatworking company, because it's not an easy gig.
No.
There's a lot of, most young boys are trying to do the stuff like flip stocks or dump it all in crypto or something stupid. Everybody just wants to make $1 million overnight. Like everybody, for some reason, I don't know why, but this generation now that's their idea. Like they want $1 million, but they have no clue how they're going to get it, and they think that when they do get it, it's going to be overnight.
Yeah.
And that's why, literally, I have hard work beats talent. I have my first fitness parlor shirts, down the spine used to say hard work beats talent.
It's hanging on the wall. I see it all the time.
Is it really hanging on the wall?
Yeah.
Where at?
I'm pretty sure.
In my gym?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's hanging right above all the energy drinks and stuff, right next to all your t-shirts.
Maybe it is.
Right next to all the tough shirts and stuff.
Maybe it is. I thought my new roundup. I might be
miscalculating, but I believe it's on the wall next to all the tough shirts and all that stuff.
Might be. I loved it. I don't know why I didn't keep sticking with that, because I try to put that quote everywhere. Man, it's like a reminder for me.
It's something to live by. It really is.
Yeah, because I don't know. Whenever I start to freaking slack off, and I'm wondering why I'm not progressing in my life, I just start thinking about you're just not working hard enough.
Right.
You just need to get back to work.
Straight up.
Put your head down and grind. I think that's the way to do it. All right, let's try it. Which one do you want to do first? I think this one, because this one's so sweet, it kind of mixes with this.
Let's start with Owensville. I'll take the alimony.
Okay. I'm going to let you pour your own shot.
Fair enough.
I'm going to let you pour your own shot, and then I'm just going to match it.
Fair enough.
Whatever you want to do.
And again, take it with a grain of salt. I see all these TikToks of these guys like, oh, I'm gonna learn to drink bourbon and I'm gonna learn to taste the difference in bourbon, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
I'm not there, but I'm gonna give this man the respect, and I'm not gonna chase it with that beer, and I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best to just taste this because I know he's worked hard for it.
Yeah, man. It's not a big deal at all. I'm not a bourbon guy. I'm a tequila guy.
Tequila.
If I'm gonna go liquor,
Look at this guy. I didn't even notice those bottles.
yeah, dude, those are good.
That's top shelf stuff there.
Class Azul, man, it's my favorite.
My buddy Kenny, when I was at the casino with him last time in Ohio, he looked at the shelf. He's like, "That's my bottle. I've never had that stuff." Not
That
actually.
bottle exactly?
Maybe not that exact bottle, but it was a blue and white bottle like that. I couldn't tell you. I was at the casino and it was late.
Those are cool bottles, man.
Yeah.
Because they're all hand painted in Mexico.
Really?
None of them are they're all the same paint job.
Yeah.
But they're all hand painted, so none of them are they're all individual.
Right.
You know, that's what I like it. Plus the top's a bell,
For sure.
so you can smack it into a bell.
That's
It's just
cool.
cool, and it's good tequila.
Well, Ryan, thank you very much for having me.
Cheers, man.
Here's the Gastonade County ourselves. Respect to this man. Hope to see him on the podcast.
Whew. I got to down it, man. I can't hold it. I can't just.
I think that's very good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a. I think it's pretty smooth for a bourbon.
I mean, I'd be quenching. That was good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah,
Good for him.
it is good. It is good. And it's funny the way I got it actually was I texted Tom when he announced that he had put the stuff out. I said, "Get me a bottle. I want it for the podcast." And he's like, "I'll get you one." And then I ran into John Breyer. Do you know who John Breyer is?
I do not.
He owns a Rosebud gas station, Rosebud General.
Gotcha.
And I ran into him at the Mexican restaurant one night, and he's like, "Have you tried that stuff?" I'm like, "No, I've been trying to get some. I just can't get up there." And he's like, "I'll bring you a bottle." I was like, "You don't need to bring me a bottle because it's like $80 a bottle."
That is?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, "You don't need to bring me a bottle. Like, I'll go buy my own bottle. I appreciate it."
Right.
But I was like, "You don't need to give me an $80 bottle of bourbon." And he's like, "No." He's like, "Tomorrow when you get home, there's going to be a bottle on your doorstep." I'm like, "Whatever, John." Like, I didn't really believe him.
Right.
But I'm like, "Whatever, John." Because we were all drinking.
Yeah.
I ran into him at Mexican on a Friday night. And then sure enough, that next day, come home from work. It's like I'm at work late that night, so it was like 9 o'clock at night. Bottle of alimony sitting on my doorstep.
I'm gonna
Solid dude.
I'm gonna backtrack like 30 seconds into that conversation. When you said $80 bottle of bourbon, I said, "Wow!" Right? I mean, that's a lot of money. I mean, to spend $80 on a bottle of liquor? I mean, you believe in it, right?
Yeah, you gotta like it.
But this comes back to the small town thing, like we were just talking about. Mm-hmm. I would rather give that man $80
Yeah.
for a man that's working hard and trying to support himself, his family, and our community. Put our community on the map. Don't forget that part.
That's a big part of my podcast.
Yeah, put us on the map, man. You're doing it.
Put the small town back on the map. Like everybody just thinks you gotta be from the city to be successful or anything. Now I'm like,
Or on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, but I don't know. I kind of want like Missouri to be on the map. I kind of want small towns to be back on the map.
You've had a lot of cool people. You've had a lot of cool people.
Some
on
of the
there.
coolest people.
And some of these people I know a lot of them personally, and they are doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but they're doing it. I mean, they're making
They're working hard.
working it.
They're hustling.
They chose the route. They made the decision, like, this is it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be the best at it. And they're doing a good
They're
job.
going all in.
Yeah.
And I say that about like off podcasts. I say it all the time. I think anyone that's willing to come and do a podcast with me is the passionate ones. Because I've invited a lot of people out and they backed out like a day before, or like they'll be like, "Yeah, man, sounds great, but I just got to figure out some free time." Like, dude, I don't have it. I have all kinds of things going on.
Yeah.
You got to make free time.
Yeah.
I went on a podcast last Friday and they sent me a message and they're like, "When do you want to come on?" I'm like, "Let's do it tomorrow." Because if I didn't schedule it for the next day, I might have chickened out.
For sure.
There was a split second through my mind that was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
When you approached me, I've never done anything like this in my life.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I own my own business. My job, 50% of my job is to talk to people, right? I got to sell the work.
Yeah.
I don't get the work if I don't sell the work.
Yep.
So I have to talk to people and I have to be good at it. And I like to tell myself, might be wrong if anybody that is listening has heard me talk to you. I might be wrong. Might not be good at it, but that's part of the job, right? And when you asked me, like when I was in the gym last week and you said, "Hey, you want to come on the podcast?" I'm not going to lie to you, dog. I choked. I joked so bad. I said, "Holy cow!" Well, one of my really, really, really good friends, Sam Lowe.
Yeah.
You know, Sam and I are pretty close, and I look up to her, and we go to each other for advice here and there. And I saw that she was on your podcast, and at the time, this was when I first started coming to the fitness parlor. Mm-hmm. So, I didn't know you very well, and I still don't know you very well, and hopefully we get to know each other more throughout this. But when I saw Sam on there, I was like, "Holy cow, that's Ryan!" I was like, "That dude owns the gym," and I asked her about it, and she had a great experience, and she was so stoked for it, and I watched it, and I was just astonished that, because when you think about a podcast, you know, you think of Joe Rogan, you think of Theo Von, you think of local purposes, you think of the Rizzuto show, you know.
Yeah.
I would never in a million years think I would walk into my gym and old boy would ask me to be on this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I choked a little bit, but I was stoked on the inside.
But you showed up, man. You literally told me, like, okay, let me figure out a date. And it took you a day or two. And then you're like, let's do next Thursday at 6. I'm like, all right, bet, let's do it. And you showed up. Yeah. And you know what? I texted you my address, and you didn't text back today. And I was like, I wonder if this guy's going to back out.
Oh, come on.
Because I bet like scheduled podcasts that get canceled, I bet 20%. I bet it's up 20% that cancel, back out.
Really?
Yeah. Just get cold feet, and then I've had them back out up to 2 hours before the podcast.
So when I called you at 5:40, I think it was.
Yeah.
I hadn't been on my phone today.
Yeah.
I've been working and just not looking at it. And I looked at my phone and I got your address. I was like, oh my gosh, I was supposed to meet Ryan. And I called you. I was like, dude, I'm coming. Sorry I'm late. I promise I'm coming. But
Logan called me and said, dude, I just got off work. I'm going to be just a little bit late. I'm in work clothes. Is that okay? I'm like, dude, come however.
Thank God I wore a black hoodie and not high vis, like pure construction work.
Oh, I don't think anyone would care.
I don't think they would either.
I think that just...
That's the raw of it.
Yeah, I think so. And like, so one time, does it bother you?
What's that?
Showing up and does it, like, do you think it has ever affected your life, showing up in work clothes, like in a negative way?
Absolutely not.
No?
Absolutely not.
I asked that because I was a body man painter. I painted cars for a living from 16 years old all the way up until I bought the gym.
Right.
And like even today, I hung 2 billboards today. Like I was out literally like taking billboards down, hanging billboards, climbing ladders, getting dirty. And, you know, I work on houses. I got rental properties, I work on houses all the time. I mean, I freaking get dirty myself.
Right.
Well, I remember one time I was trying to get a new bank that would loan me money for more rental properties. I was trying to like acquire more rental properties, and my bank was very conservative, so they didn't want to loan me money. And I was like, I need a bank that is willing to take more chances on investments. Like someone that sees that I'm working hard, and I have a system behind my rental properties that work really good for me. It helps me acquire them. I make good money on them, everything like that. And so my bank, even if I showed them that I had money in the bank, I was cash flowing on every single rental property. Everything was doing good. I had every rental property rented out. My bank was just so conservative that they're just like, I'm not really sure. It didn't matter what I did, unless I had over 20% down for each one. They didn't want to loan it out.
It's just so hard to do when you're talking.
So hard to do.
When you're talking, you know, 150, 175,
you can't put
200,000
down every time.
No,
You can't. Not in cash.
and that's the thing. Like, so I really want to come back to that, but before I forget about this,
Sure. That's it.
I've yet to own a house.
Yeah.
I really, really am working hard to own a house.
Yeah.
But my situation is,
You want to talk on some like ideas I got?
I would love to hear it.
All right, we'll go back. We'll talk on that before the podcast is over. We'll talk on it. I got some good ideas, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
My situation is okay. So like we started the podcast with, I was 21 when I started my business.
Yeah.
Right. 2020, peak COVID. I mean, shit hit the fan. I mean, everything was bad. Nobody's working. Everybody's wondering if we're even going to be able to leave our houses. I mean, you know the deal. You lived it. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Everything was so weird. It was absurd.
I never got one day off though.
Same.
Not one.
Same. I went to work the whole time. Actually, false. I did my fair quarantine. It happened to be during bow season, and I did a lot of deer hunting.
Sure.
But There was a time where I was told, hey, stay home. And I was like, wow, it's November 6th. I'll gladly stay home for 2 weeks and go bow hunting.
Yeah.
But,
Who tells you that if you're working for yourself, though?
well, at the time, obviously,
This was before you started your own business.
No, I was in business.
Okay.
But I was at a wedding. That weekend. Got a phone call like Tuesday, Wednesday that 5, 6, 7, 8 people tested positive for COVID. You might want to go get tested. I didn't go get tested because I was at work when I got the phone call. My girlfriend at the time went and got tested positive.
Yeah.
I just automatically assumed. I was like,
Yeah, I probably got it in some way.
I mean, I've been,
whether you're asymptomatic
Right.
or not, like you probably had it.
we lived together, right?
Yeah.
We ate supper together every night. We lived together. Okay, she's got it. I got it.
Yeah.
She tested positive. So I just texted guys, and this was before we were all educated and this, that, and the other. At the time, COVID was a nuclear bomb. I said, hey, I have COVID. I'm not coming to work for 2 weeks.
Gotcha.
I
gotcha.
I mean,
So it was an executive call on your
right.
part.
I just said, hey, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what it was. It was so early.
Yeah.
I said,
Last thing you want to give it to is someone that has some type of health issues and then they die.
Exactly.
Because that was like the thing. They're like, if you don't work out, if you're not in shape, if you're over 50.
You give it to your grandma,
you're
she's
too
going to
young.
die.
Yeah.
I'm not killing
They just
my
made
grandma.
it seem like if anyone got it that wasn't in like
Right.
super health, you're
Right.
dead.
Exactly.
You're dead.
So that happened, and I just took my time off and did that, and that was an ordeal, and it was really tough to overcome, really.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it was a crazy time.
especially because at the time when that happened, I was so green. I took every job,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to make it at this point.
Yeah.
All you want to do is go to work at this point, right?
Yeah.
So,
Puts you in a vulnerable spot.
Right.
Right? Because
did I do a job for you?
yeah, you did.
I did a rental property at Howie H, right?
Yeah.
I thought that. I thought that.
Yeah, you did.
I couldn't nail it. I couldn't think about it, but I thought I did.
Yeah.
And that was what, 2020, 2021? I was trying to make it.
2021, man.
Yeah. I just took every job I could get
Yeah.
because at the time when nobody's on your
Did a
side.
good job too, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Appreciate that. You helped me out. You hooked me up
You helped me out too.
very graciously.
You helped me out too.
Yeah. We can go back. Let's go. Well, we're gonna lead into your story.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What I was saying that led me into just working hard like that. I think I had never looked at it as a way that it like affected me negatively, and I don't know if it really did. And honestly, this is a very situational spot, and it was like screw him. Like that's where I'm like screw that guy that I talked to this day. But I remember I had set up an appointment with a bank with a guy that was high up in a bank that was through a bank that was apparently just more optimistic about investment properties and like wanting to make money and take chances. And I'm like, that's the company I need. I need a bank like that is willing to take a chance on someone young that's a hustler. And I worked all day. I was in muddy boots, jeans, and just a normal t-shirt.
What were you doing at the time for a living?
I was painting cars, but I was working on rental properties at the same time.
So you were.
I think.
So at this point, you're like full-time investor, right? I mean, if you could clarify, you're buying a property.
Yeah, I guess depends on how. I guess. Yeah.
Investor not being stocks or trades or this, that, and the other.
Investor, a low-end investor. Yeah.
Right.
I want to be investor.
You want to make money on said property.
Yeah, I would consider myself a wannabe investor still to this day.
Right.
Like, I don't know when you get classified as an investor. Okay, I think I wouldn't consider myself an investor because I've invested, like I invest in silver, precious metals, stocks, rental properties. I mean, I got it all.
Anything that has
I love
value.
investing. I love it. It's
Can't
so
lose,
fun.
right? I mean, you can, I guess.
can.
But you
I have.
You can.
I have, but I don't care. It's fun too. The when you buy something for $1 and sell it for $2, that's the thrill of it, man. That's like the joy. It's so fun being able to do that for me.
Right.
But so I went to this bank and I show up and I'm all in like raggedy clothes and I'm dirty. And I think I was working on a rental property that day. So I was like extra dirty at that time. And it was probably around the time it was probably literally around the time when you were doing the concrete work for me in 2021.
Yeah.
And it was probably literally that exact house because I was grinding. I was working 8 hours a day in a body shop. I'd get off and I'd work till 9, 10.
I know you were grinding, dog. You paid me, and I did that job. You paid me, and you and I never even met face to face. Remember that? You and I never even met. You sold me the job via Facebook Messenger. I went out there. Oh, you didn't sell me the job. Sorry. You told me about it. I went out there, measured said job, gave you a price over Facebook Messenger with no contract, which is absurd now. Not against you, but there are people out there that if I didn't have a contract, there's no way I'd work for them.
Sure.
Gave you a price. You said go do it, and I did it. And you paid me via Cash App or Venmo or something, and it was all fine. You and I never even met.
Wow.
That's how busy you were.
Yeah.
And that's how busy I was. I mean,
Yeah,
it worked out. I trusted you because you were a small town guy trying to make it, and I was a small town guy trying to make it, and it worked out.
I don't know. Someone recommended you, and that's probably why I was like, yeah, cool. I'm good. Like, I'm good with it. Like, I'm a pretty trusting guy. I feel like you got to put trust in people.
For sure.
It's a big thing. But I went into this bank because we keep getting sidetracked. But I went into this bank and I met with this gentleman and suit and tie kind of guy. I went there and I don't think he realized like what kind of warpath I'm on, because I'm on a warpath for sure. And I go in, I'm sitting down, like I had to make time out of my day to go meet this dude. And I go there and I sit there and he has his little cubicle in the bank. And I go over there and talk with him and I'm like, hey, I have this many rental properties. They all have at least 50% equity in every single one of them. I cash flow off the top of every single one of them. I have plenty of money in the bank that I can put 20% down on these properties. But here's my problem, dude. I don't want to put 20% down because I'm trying to invest in other avenues. And if I have to keep buying houses, and let's just say on average, I'm buying a $70,000 house. Let's just make it easier for the math sense. Like
100 G's.
100,000. So 20% down is 20,000.
Yep.
Right? So I got to come up with $20,000 every single time. And it's not exactly easy to come up with 20 grand extra cash to put to the side. Even if it's 50 grand, it's still $10,000 you got to put down every single time. And so I'm like, this is where it's becoming a problem, dude, because I'm like, I buy them, I fix them up, I rent them, and I'll have, like, I'll make it to where the house is, I might buy it because I'm a deal seeker. So I find one for 40 grand and it might be worth 80 grand by the time I'm done with it. So it's 50% equity in it. And I'm like, I can't put 20% down on the 40K, which is 8 grand, and then have 50% equity in it. I'm like, I need some money back. And so I'm like, I want to start using equity off these properties, or I want to, if I can't use the equity off the properties that you guys are just pull directly off the property, I want to take I want to refinance all these and you guys pump the money back at me. That way I can put the down payment down. And he's like, no, we can't do it that way. I said, why not? It's my money.
Right.
Like
the value's there, the house is there,
yeah,
the property's there.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, if I can buy a house for that, if it's $100,000 house, a bank will loan 80% of it. So they'll give you $80,000.
Correct.
But because they want you to have some skin in the game, right? So that's why they want you to put 20% down. But if I can buy a house for $60,000, why can they not just take that? In my head, I was like, why can't you just take that extra 20% equity and put it up to $80,000? Like, take 20% equity in the house, take that, hold on to it, and I not have to put the cash down, but you guys have that equity in the house where you guys own that 20% of it too. And we just call it good. Like, why can't I use my equity in the house? And he's like, well, we want you to have some skin in the game. I said, well, why do I have to have 40% in it? Why do I have to have 20% sitting around for nothing? And he just didn't get the concept because he's just,
your 40% being 20% your cash value plus 20% equity is where your 40 is coming from, correct?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, why do I have to, like, if there's 20% extra equity there,
right,
why do I have to put 20% cash down? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely none.
So I'm like, let's just use that 20% equity and I'll just move on with my life. And I'll just make sure I find deals all the time.
On top of, you have X amount of rental properties with cash flow.
Showing that they're
and a
cash
full-time
flowing
job
and have money in the bank to pay for them.
Yeah, right.
Been doing it for years. It's not like it was like my first time ever doing it. And the problem is that I was young. I was 27, 28 at the time. And yeah, Well, the whole point of the story was, I think he seen me that I was in like these raggedy boots. Like I always wear steel. If I'm working, I'm wearing steel toe boots.
Right.
And the whole front of them's blown out and it's just steel on the front.
He stereotyped you.
I think he stereotyped me because I was young and he's like, this dude's just a Hoosier.
Right.
You know, like this redneck Hoosier, he ain't going to pay it. Cause he was like suit and tie and he was just wanting to follow things by the book. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm not like in my eyes, I'm like, I'm actually following it by the book. Cause essentially that's what in my eyes, I was like, essentially the equity's there. So I'm like, I'm following it by the book, but I think he just judged me by what I was wearing and my age. And he just didn't even want to hear me out.
Right.
And I was just like he wanted me, like he thought he convinced me that day that that's what was going to happen. And I was like, thank you for your time, man. I'll let you know what I'm going to do.
You went to the next guy.
I just went to the next bank. And I just keep.
Somebody's going to invest in you.
Yeah, you just keep going to different, in my eyes, you just keep going to another bank until someone tells you, yeah.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, they're not losing, right? I mean, if you lose, if you fail, what do they lose? They refinance your property or they foreclose it and sell for profit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the that's worst case scenario, obviously.
Yeah. But exactly, that's worst case scenario.
But you're not worst case scenario. You have cash flow. You have this many rentals. You have a job. I mean,
yeah.
It's absurd that old boy didn't want to invest in you to start with.
I could show him like paperwork all the way from, because I was 27 at the time, I could show him paperwork all the way back to I was 21, you know, working, having a solid, like having solid work all the way since I was 21. Like never, even back then I could afford it.
Right.
Yeah. And it was interesting. And yeah, things are different now. And I found a bank that was willing to do it for me. And that's the thing.
How old are you now?
30.
30.
Yeah.
So this was not terribly long ago.
No, 2021.
Holy cow.
2021, yeah.
2021 was a hectic year for everybody, it sounds like.
It was freaking, I think it was the best year of my life. I bought the gym in 2021.
Mine too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
I actually, since I was 21 years old, every year has been the best year of my life.
My man.
Yeah. Yeah.
that.
Solid, huh?
My man.
I started pretty low.
That's the way you got to look at life.
Yeah. I started pretty low. So it was easy. I just slowly started setting goals. But every time I set a new goal, I achieved it. And that's when I started getting more confidence. And I was like, oh, I can achieve this. Because a lot of it started out like mental things.
Right.
Like just things like quitting soda. I was like, I woke up one day and literally in 2013, I was like, I want to see how long I can go without drinking soda. It was October 2013. Never had soda since.
Good for you.
Not unless it was like with a shot, you know, or something.
Right,
like
yeah, you're chasing like a bourbon or this idea.
I wouldn't even say, maybe like a Pepsi and Coke or something.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I even chase it with that. I probably, if it's bourbon, if it was.
Well, you just taste that bourbon with a Mick Ultras.
Yeah, that's usually what I do. Because I don't do shots very often. Like there's times where I go out to the bar and people are like, you want to do the shot? And I'm like, okay.
It's asking for trouble.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, you go through there's some points in my life where I did spin in the bar. And it's, you know, I'm not
with you, man.
proud of it. I'm not, even when I was like going out, but like.
It's part of it though, right?
Yeah, I had some, you know, along the lines, you know, I had some lulls where I was just like, oh, you know, especially in a small town, right? You know, I lived by myself. I was single. I was painting cars, so I didn't have like a way to meet people every day. So it wasn't like I was meeting new people and like my friends I had known for a long time. I wasn't making new friends. There was nowhere local I could go to meet someone. Like, what am I going to do? Like, I can't do something on a Friday night, like around here. So that was like, you know, when you're single, yeah, that's what I had to do. I had to go to like a bar just to try to meet people.
For sure.
To mingle, meet people, men and women. You know, like I was just looking for friends because a lot of my friends, I was late 20s at this point in my life. And most of my friends had settled down, got married, had kids. They weren't going to go out. Most of my friends weren't. Yeah, I was doing a lot of stuff alone, you know. So you just got to make new friends, and you just got to go make the best of it and figure things out as you go.
I'm slowly approaching that point in my life because where I'm at in my life is a lot different than I would say majority of my friends. Majority of my friends are either married or they have a kid on the way, or you know, they done bought a house and
Prepping for that.
right.
Kid in marriage.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so they're trying to pump the brakes and they're trying to like.
And not that I'm not looking for that. Not that I'm opposed to, living life one day at a time and looking for a family and a kid and this, that, and the other. I just have a lot going on that I need to do for myself right now.
Sure.
And it just seems that every time, like you were talking earlier, these mini goals. There are multiple goals in my life that I had set for myself that aren't completely out the window, but they have been surpassed due to other circumstances. But I still have goals as to what I'm doing. I mean, everything has a reason as to what I'm doing, and it's put me in the position I'm in now, and I'm content with where I'm at. It's hard to live with my buddies that have kids and wives and families, because my 5 best friends all have kids and wives and families, and here I am. But
Yeah.
they support me.
It's tough, ain't it? It is tough.
It is tough. It's hard to understand what they're all going through when I have absolutely no idea. But they do a very good job at filling me in and not making me feel left out regarding that circumstance.
Sure. Yeah, it all comes down to like just what you want. Because like I was so focused on wanting to better my life, and I was like, I can't bring a kid in this world. I can't even hardly support myself. Why would I bring some kid in this world?
That's exactly where I'm at right now.
And I also learned along the way that the entrepreneurial path is, they call it the 1%ers for a reason, because literally 1% of people actually want to follow this path. They want to go down this righteous path, and it's the lone wolves. You know, it's like
brutal.
It's brutal.
It's brutal.
And you got to be used to being single or being lonely. Maybe you don't have to be single, but a lot of times you got to go do stuff alone, because other people don't see your same dreams as you. And it's like, do I chase my dreams, or do I follow this path for somebody else?
Right.
But with that path, following someone else sometimes comes with sacrifice, because that's something that I do believe in, is that if you're a goal seeker, it really helps to have some goal seekers around you that have that same vision.
Yeah.
You know, like someone that like kind of wants the same thing as you in life. You know, like the ones that, like I could not be with someone that wanted to come home every night and watch TV. I don't watch TV.
Right.
I have a big screen TV in my living room. I turn it on for background noise if I'm doing something in my house, but I don't watch TV.
Right.
I don't. Like I might watch 30 minutes of TV before I go to bed at night just to clear my head. It's like just stupid YouTube videos, Fortnite, or do you know what PewDiePie is? You ever watch any YouTube?
No, I watch YouTube, but same concept as yours. I do it for background music or just to wind down through the day. I don't watch television myself. Sounds weird to probably everybody listening to yourself, but I sit down and I just watch turkey hunting videos.
That's your thing, man.
That's
There's
my
nothing
thing.
wrong with that.
I sit down and I turn on the Hunting Public and I just watch turkey hunting videos for 30 minutes, and I fall asleep and I wake up and my phone's still on turkey hunting videos and it's dead, and I'm like, damn it, my phone's dead.
Sure, man. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, you need
same
that.
concept.
You need something that clears your head at the end of the day.
For sure.
It doesn't matter what it is.
For sure.
Like, yeah, that's what it came down to. It was just finding something that I enjoy that didn't get me worked up, because my brain's freaking wired up all the time.
I hear that.
Let's so I want to hear this story, because Sam Lowe is actually one that told me too. Like, she told me that
Samantha.
He's ratting you out, telling you secrets. She just said that when you went into your business, that you didn't plan on doing it forever.
I didn't, and I don't.
Like, it was supposed to be a temporary thing. So what happened there? Because at 21, someone had made you start. You ready to try this liqueur yet?
Yeah, let's do it.
You want to try it?
Let's do it.
Before we head into this
Yeah.
segment. I love hearing people's background stories. That's what motivates me in life.
So, I have a whole
I'll
lot.
let you pour the first shot. I'm going to match it.
I have a whole lot of close friends, and the best friend term to me is obviously, it's kind of broad, because I don't know. I have a lot of friends that I would call my best friends. I can't pick one.
Sure.
Male, female.
Well, you don't have to have one best friend,
Right.
Like, you
Right.
can have multiple really good friends. And
Regarding
as
that,
life goes on,
they dwindle
come and
down. You get a smaller circle, and like we were talking about earlier, you start to surround yourself with people with the same goals and
even at 30, I'm still finding new friends.
yeah.
Like, I'm still finding people that a lot of these people that come on the podcast, I've become really good friends with. Kayla and Andrew Zeller, they own Hydro Seam.
Yeah.
They're big in the boating world, but I just love them as people. Like,
What was their name?
Kayla Zeller and Andrew Zeller.
Kayla Zeller and Andrew Zeller. I just bought a gator boat, and I need a new bench seat for my boat. So
Hit her up. Hit them up. They
I
got
need a
merch
new-
and everything, man.
I need
That's
a-
what this is right here.
I need a new seat for my boat. So I'll hit them up. I need that for sure.
No, Kayla's the one that makes the seats now
kidding.
for gator boats.
What?
If you get okay, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to have Lance on in 2 weeks, so Lance will be able to tell me for sure.
Right on.
But I'm pretty sure they have it now where, Kayla's predominantly making all the seats for it.
Kayla, we'll skip past this so we don't throw her under the bus. I need a bench seat for my gator boat, and I would love for you to touch my boat up. So thanks anyways.
Yeah, she'll do it. She'll hook you up.
Hey, man. This is, what's this guy's name?
This is Demetrius Kane.
Demetrius.
He has Nobleton's out of Washington, Missouri.
Out of Washington, Missouri.
Yeah, you know where Happy Apple's at?
I do.
It's right behind Happy Apple.
So right across the river then. Right?
Huh?
Isn't Happy Apple right across the river?
No, this is on 47, in between Union, Missouri and Washington, Missouri.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
up in there, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Did you expect that?
That is delicious.
It is, dude. It is.
Wow. Which one was that?
It's LeBon. It's LeBon. It is the one I would recommend to everybody. If they're going to buy one,
It's a liqueur.
it's a liqueur. Yeah.
That was delicious.
Yeah, it is really good.
That man nailed that.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
nailed that.
I always tell everyone, I'm like, if you're going to try one, try that.
Good
Because
for you, Demetrius. You did a good job.
Yeah, well, I think he has, when he came on my podcast, I think he brought 8 liquors. And we just sampled each one. But he in-house distributes, I think, 63 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he still out of Washington? Mm-hmm. So he straight up runs shop out of Washington, and these are sold there.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are these distributed via like Schnucks or gas stations or anything like that?
Yes. Because that was something you talked about on the podcast too. A distillery cannot sell their own liquor. He can sell it direct to customer. Like if you want to buy it, if you came in to him in-house and bought, you're like, hey, I want to buy a bottle of Bon, he can sell it to you. But he cannot post it on his website and distribute it that way. He has to legally go through a distributing company to buy it.
Wow.
Yeah. And I have some water back there too if you want, Logan.
That stuff was so good.
Yeah, it's sweet.
1 ounce Blanco tequila, 1 ounce this, 1 ounce lime, ½ ounce agave syrup. Let the good times roll.
It's good stuff.
He did a good job.
Yeah, he rocked it with that stuff.
That blew my mind.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. So, but yeah, you can either buy it from him or I know there's some places in Washington that carry it.
I'm going to go get a bottle and enjoy that with some local friends.
Yeah, definitly do it. Or give him a call and just tell him, like, hey, I was on the Ryan Wilson podcast. And
Hey, Ryan told me to give you a shout.
Oh,
That
yeah.
stuff was delicious.
Yeah, he'd be like, come in. He has a private bar and everything. You can do private tasting in there. And
Really?
Yeah. It's like a speakeasy.
Wow.
Yeah. Anybody can do it. It's all by appointment, though. But you just call the number. If you Google him, call the number, he would hook you up anytime.
I'll keep that in mind.
He's an entrepreneur. He's got all the time in the world.
I would say
He's not scared to work a 16-hour day
for sure.
if he had to. Like if you called him and said, "Hey, I want to do it 7 o'clock tonight," he's the kind of guy that even though he works 10 hours that day, he's gonna be like, "Yeah, let's do it."
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought the. I don't know. I don't think I'd consider myself an entrepreneur. I guess if you looked it up by definition.
Yeah, you're an entrepreneur.
Okay, sure. If you look at it that way.
Do you not like the word entrepreneur?
No, I think it's a great name.
Yeah.
I think or a term, and I think it's a very prestigious term.
Huh?
And I think it has a lot of responsibility that comes with it, and I struggle putting myself in that category because I know people like Sam or yourself that have put the time in and did that. And yeah, I mean, like you and I just had a 30-minute conversation about your rental properties and this, that, and the other. Sam went to Mizzou for 4 years and she nailed it, and now she's, the best of the best.
Yeah.
I couldn't get a raise from my boss, and I quit my job and started a company. I mean, there's nothing special there.
That's what entrepreneurs do.
I just.
Hey,
this isn't for me.
entrepreneurs are unemployable. That's
Yeah.
what we are. If we don't like the way someone else is telling us how to do it, we go and do it ourselves because we believe we can.
Right.
I think there's more to an entrepreneur. I think entrepreneurs just naturally want it. They're hungry all the time.
Yeah.
But I think it comes. The hunger comes. The more you achieve, the more you want.
So
You like the process more
sure.
than the end goal.
I'm going to say this part, and then we're going to go back to how I didn't plan on this being my life, but I enjoy the stress.
Sure.
I enjoy the stress of it.
So is it stress if you're enjoying it?
Oh yeah.
Really?
We'll get to that part.
Yeah.
So Sam is right. I did not plan for this to be my life, nor do I plan for this to be my life. So graduated high school, had a niche with aircraft, airplanes, space, stuff like that. And I had this awesome teacher, Mr. Jeff Shelton. If you hear this for whatever reason, good for you. You
Shout
did
out.
This is for you. You did it. I went to Missouri S&T, and I was studying aeronautics. Didn't work out. Came back, went to ECC, and Mr. Shelton got a job as a pilot, and he talked me into like, hey, you should go fly. Because he was a pilot, then became a teacher, and he would just always talk to me about it, and I just showed this interest in it. And he called me one day, and he said, hey, you should go fly. Just go get a discovery flight and do it. And I did it, and I was flying, and my teacher at the time, I was flying right seat, said, hey, this is your aircraft. I said, this is my aircraft. And I flew the airplane. I was like, that's it. That's it. I mean, that quick.
So that's what you want to do?
Oh, yeah.
You want to be a pilot?
That's where first class came from, man.
Cool. That's awesome.
That's where the name first class flatware came from.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just so every time I pour concrete and I order concrete, I say, hey, this is Logan with first class. It's like,
it's a reminder.
I should be flying airplanes.
You still got a
not pouring
dream to
concrete.
chase, right?
100%. Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
22, man. You still got time.
Yeah.
So, okay, so how'd you start doing concrete? What got you into concrete? Like, what was like, out of every trade in the world, why choose concrete?
So
Backbreaking one.
So I grew up in a blue-collar family and, splitting wood for grandma on the weekends and this, that, and the other. And when I left from high school to go to Missouri S&T, everything was cool. Coming back from Missouri S&T because of said situation, now I'm going to ECC and I'm living at home again. I felt like I kind of owed my dad something to work hard, I guess I should say. To work hard while I go to ECC, so I got a job as, I guess I would call it labor or carpenter. I was working for a company framing houses, and I was just low guy in the totem pole, throwing trash in the dumpster.
Sure.
Like, swinging a hammer.
Yeah, the porter.
Right. I mean, the low guy, right?
Yep. I know it, man.
And there were, at the time...
I've been there, too.
Yeah, and I did it for a semester. I did it for 2.5 semesters. So I did it fall... I guess I did it for fall, spring, summer. So, long time. And at the time, it was a long time. In hindsight, it's not a long time.
Sure.
And then there was a girl I knew in high school. Her dad owned a concrete company. And I was really good friends with that girl at the time. And so were all of my friends. Like, me and like 4 other dudes. We were all friends at the time. And he owned a concrete company. And he approached me and he said, hey, man, you want a job for the summer? And this was when I was between classes. So didn't have anything planned for the summer.
And you want to make some money.
I want to make some money.
Yeah.
Work hard, make my dad happy because I'm working hard. I'm not working at Schnucks. No offense to anybody that works at Schnucks, but
Yeah.
that's just how I was raised.
Just wanted to prove you weren't a deadbeat.
Yeah, right. So I take this job, go work for this guy, nailed it all summer, low-key enjoyed it. It was actually a lot of fun.
So are you 20 at this point?
No, 19.
Okay.
19 at this point.
Yeah, you worked the summer, 19
Yep. Summer 19, not 2019. I was 19. Worked that summer. Did good. I enjoyed it. And ended up going to University of Central Missouri that fall. Went to University of Central Missouri.
Is that out by Kansas City?
Warrensburg.
Yeah, Warrensburg, Missouri?
Right.
Gotcha.
Also studying aeronautics. And my grandfather was funding my flight school. I was studying aeronautics because I wanted a degree that had something to do with flying airplanes, so I had something to fall back on. But my end goal was to fly airplanes, right?
Those fallback plans, man, those always suck.
Right.
If you have a fallback plan, you're failing.
You're failing. I mean, you're looking forward to that fallback plan.
Yeah, you're leaning towards the fall.
100%.
Right? So you're going to fall back.
Right.
Don't have a fallback where you have to fall forward.
No, you're doing this.
Yeah.
Right.
Make it to where you have to fall forward.
Hindsight's 20/20. I never would have. I mean, this situation's a little different for whatever reason, but I'm with you. I took out student loans at UCM to study aeronautics. Grandpa was funding flight school. The flight time. Student loans did not cover flight time, like in the airplane. Grandpa dies. Now I'm not flying airplanes.
Because you got no funding.
I have no funding. See ya. I'm not going to school if I'm not flying.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And this goes back to what you just said. To hell with the backup plan.
Yeah.
If I'm not flying airplanes, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Called my old boss. I said, hey, man, I need a job. Boom. Hired me on the spot. Went back to work. Now I'm $12,000 in debt.
Can I pause you for a second?
Yes, sir.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I wonder, is it emotional to talk about your grandpa?
No, not one bit. No.
Okay. I didn't want to talk about it if it was going to.
No, all good, boss.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with that.
So I wonder why, when he passed away, was it a unexpected death?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was an unexpected death, and my grandpa at the time,
Like an unexpected death where he wasn't able to write a will.
yeah,
Okay.
pretty well. Iffy. He was remarried. Money went other places.
Oh, freaking okay! I see what's going on here.
Yeah.
So
He was with another woman who was not
she
involved.
got it all.
Yeah, she wasn't involved with my life or my sister's life or my mother's life.
She didn't think you deserved it.
Money went elsewhere.
Ah.
Yeah.
You guys don't see her anymore, huh?
Oh, I didn't even see my grandpa's ashes when he passed away.
Why?
She took them. I don't know. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. My mom, my grandpa's daughter, never even. He died on Christmas Day, 2020. He died on Christmas Day, 2020. And she didn't call us until
And
January.
the new wife handled.
Handled everything. Handled the funeral. Handled everything because she didn't want to call.
You guys
us.
didn't get to go to the funeral.
No. She didn't. He died on Christmas Day. She didn't want to call us and tell us that he died on Christmas Day. She called us like January 1, January 2, and it was already said and done.
I don't get that. I understand, like, oh, we don't want a bad memory to be.
Right, but my fucking grandpa died.
Right, yeah, it's just part of it, and I also think
life.
that it's life,
It's life.
and who gives a damn,
I'm with you.
right? Like,
I'm
who
with you.
gives a damn? Like,
And I haven't talked to her
after
since.
so long, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't hold on to deaths like some people hold on to deaths,
with
but
you.
I've also never lost someone super close, like a mom or a dad or a sibling. I've lost uncles, which were hard. I've lost grandparents, which were also hard. But for me, remembering someone is not a. I don't mourn. I did at the time, but not anymore. Like after a year, it's not mourning.
I have a very.
But it's also my belief. It's that's a touchy subject. That's a touchy subject.
I respect you for wanting to talk about it because I have a very, very good example that we'll come to later regarding that exactly what you're talking about mourning and how I handle it, which is exactly like you do versus my sisters, which if you're hearing this, I love you dearly.
Sure.
It's
But I think it's just a difference between men and women.
right. I agree.
And that's why I say it's a touchy subject because everyone's
Thank you for pointing that out, by the way.
yeah, everyone's emotions are different.
For sure.
Everybody handles things differently.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's tough.
It's tough, man.
So grandpa died.
Yeah, so grandpa died, freaking old broad ran off. How old was your grandpa, by the way?
Grandpa, what was grandpa? He's probably early 60s, probably 63, 60.
Young.
Yeah.
Young. My dad's
Yeah.
69.
I think he survived cancer twice. He died a third time.
How'd he die? Oh, he died the third time.
Yeah, he had cancer the third time, yeah.
Okay.
Killed him.
Well,
But I didn't know about it until like the last 2 weeks. And old boy was filthy rich with old girl he was running around with. I'm a broke college kid in Missouri. They're in Missouri in the Bahamas, or Missouri. They're in Florida in the Bahamas on a yacht. Literal yacht. Hey, your grandpa's...
literally a yacht.
Literally, yeah. Literally, yeah. Hey, your grandpa's dying. I get a phone call Christmas Day. Hey, George is dead. Great, what am I supposed to do? I'm at UCM in Warrensburg trying to figure out if I'm even want to go to school anymore type deal.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Damn.
yeah, it's rough.
She's
man.
down in Florida, huh?
Florida, Michigan, they had a house in Florida, Michigan. They were snowbirds. They went to Florida in the summertime.
She's living it right now.
Or Michigan in the summertime.
Was she 60?
Oh, yeah. Older woman. Older gal. Yeah.
Older than your grandpa?
Yeah, for sure.
My grandpa, same thing. But my grandpa lived to 96.
Damn.
Yeah, he's freaking kicking it.
He's a baller. Huh?
I got a number to beat for sure.
Yeah.
But
Looking good, man. He got going for you.
Thank you. He had got with some gal that was younger and like just, I mean, it was all looks kind of thing.
I mean, my grandpa was a bad gambler. He probably met the old girl at the casino. I probably met her less than 5 times. I'm not joking.
Yeah. It's something to note. To try to, but even, I mean, that's the thing. Like these old men are dogs, you know, and they get to that age where they're just like, whatever, they're just looking for some love, and they're willing to pay for it because they got some money, and it's not right. It's not right. I'm not saying it's right. No.
They're like, I done did it. I had my kids. I raised my grandkids. I made my money.
Yeah.
Who's up?
Yeah, and
that's the way they're looking at it.
It's tough.
What do you do?
I mean, yeah. What do you do?
What do you do? You gotta respect the guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's their life, and they earned it.
Right, they did it.
So it's unfortunate it ended the way it did because he certainly was trying to help you out.
For sure.
So whoever that lady is, screw you. Like, let this dude go to college, get his pilot license. But so what happened? What happened? Like,
so time goes on. Drop out of school because I'm not flying anymore. And what's the point of going to school when the only thing I could see myself doing is I didn't want to work on airplanes.
No, you want to fly them.
I want to be a pilot. I want to be a pilot. That's it. That's what I want to do.
Understandable.
So when Grandpa died, I come back to, Gaston, Franklin County, and I contact my old boss. Hey, man, I'm not in the best shoes right now. I'm trying to go to school next semester. I just need a job.
Mentally, was that a hard time for you?
Terribly.
Yeah.
Terrible. That's probably one of the lowest points of my life. I ain't going to lie.
Sure.
I didn't know what I was going to do. I just changed.
2021?
No. What was it? 2020.
No, I'm saying age.
Oh, yeah.
20, you're eight, like around 20,
I was 20 years old, yeah. 20 years old.
Probably creeping up on 21.
Creeping up to 21. Yeah. It was, I turned my
trying to picture a timeline in my head.
No, you're good. My birthday's April. This was fall. So this was the fall when I was 19 and the spring when I was 20.
Sure.
Would have been 21 that spring. And I approached my boss and said, hey, man, I need a job. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't commit a timeline to you. Stuff's not going my way. Gave me a job.
One thing I know is I need to make money.
Right. I was like, I got to go to work, right? My dad wasn't giving me a handout. My dad said,
yeah,
you want to come home? You have a room here. You're more welcome to live here.
Support you, but
I need you to not be a bum.
Yeah, we're not financially going to support you, but we'll make sure you have a roof over your head.
You're going to have a roof over your head. Pay for your own insurance, pay your phone bill, this, that, and the other. I mean, be a kid, figure your life out.
Yeah.
And one thing led to another, and it didn't work out. And here I am a year and a half later. So
you just weren't getting paid enough? Or the work conditions weren't the way you wanted either?
No, work was great. I love concrete. We'll get that.
No, I'm saying like maybe your boss.
No, my boss was great.
Workers?
Great. One of my best friends to this day was my coworker.
Benefits?
None.
Okay, so no benefits. No benefits. So that was one.
My coworker at the time, Kenny, if you throw it over here, this is to you. Best friend.
Yeah.
Straight up best friend. He'll be at my wedding one day.
Cool.
My boss, fantastic guy. I have nothing bad to say about the guy. He was awesome.
Yeah.
Won't say his name. Great dude. The best teacher I ever could have asked for. I mean, literally, he is an artist. He was the best of the best.
Sure.
That I ever knew. Obviously, there might be better out there, but from what I've seen, he was the best.
Yeah.
But I'm 20 years old, man. I need to make more than $16 an hour.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
And you're probably sitting there while you're doing the job. You're probably pricing what the job
100%. Because at the time, I was doing side jobs. Doing side jobs at the time.
Yeah.
Making a lot of money. Dan Coons. I did a job for Dan Coons.
Yeah. Shout out Dan Coons.
We're going
to have some mimosas, Dan.
And
it's going to happen.
That was like that. He was the first project I ever did on myself ever. He took a chance on me.
Cool.
Did it. We made it. And I was like, after I did that, I started looking at these jobs a little differently. Now I'm not going to the job to get a paycheck. I'm going to the job to be the best.
Sure.
And I start seeing, wow, we're here. This job is this many square feet. Jeff's pricing it for this much. There's this. Wow, damn, he just made $2,500. Stuff like that.
I could be making that $2,500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started asking.
You know what? sorry to cut you off again, but there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody acts like, oh, well, you need employees. Oh, but when it comes to blue collar stuff, or like whatever you want to call it,
Right.
Hard labor, whatever you want to call it, there doesn't have to be a million employees.
No.
Like a lot of people are like, well, we need employees to get stuff, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no. I could go start my own body shop. You could go start your own concrete business. The next guy can go start his own concrete business. Everybody can do it. Not everybody has to work for somebody else.
100%.
That's possible. And more people need to know that they can. And that's what I'm trying to preach. I always try to preach to everybody. I'm like, if you want to be an employee, nothing wrong with that. But you don't have to be, guys. You don't have to do this.
My story is my story. If this doesn't open people's eyes, I don't know what will.
It won't, man.
And I am so
okay.
I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that you gave me this opportunity because my story is not hyping it up or anything like that because it's nothing actually special. But when you look at the circumstances to where we're at now, it's nuts. And I'm glad that I have the platform to tell people about it.
Sure.
When I asked my boss for a raise, I was 2 years in at this point. Because I wasn't going to college if I wasn't flying airplanes.
You got no raise at this point?
No.
You started out at this wage.
Yep.
This wage.
I can't name $16, $17 an hour.
It don't matter.
Don't matter.
You started out at one wage.
Right.
And it was a beginner's wage.
Yep.
And 2 years in, you haven't got a pay grade.
I shouldn't say beginners. He paid me what I was making when I left to go to college, right? Get back, starts me out at that again.
Which was still like basically a beginner's.
Oh, yeah, broke. Yeah. Broke. At 20 years old, $16 an hour. I mean, what are you doing? I could go to McDonald's.
Dude, I started out, my first buy shop, I started at $9.
Right. Exactly.
$9, dude.
So
rough.
All this time goes by, and at this point, I know in my heart I need to be an aircraft pilot. I need to fly airplanes. That's what I want to do.
You're still being pulled to it.
Yes, I need to be a pilot. That's what I want to do. And I asked my boss for a raise. He wouldn't do it. And I said, dude, finally it came to it, and I told him, I said, put my 2 weeks in. Done. Put my 2 weeks in. This is it. And I kind of called his bluff. I thought he was going to say, here's a raise. He said, okay. Fuck. Now what do I do, right? I was like,
you were just trying to get a raise out of it.
For sure. I was.
Like, you were literally trying to just get a raise out of it.
He said, see ya. Done. Came home from work. Girl I was dating at the time, we'd been together for a long, long time at that point. I said, hey, we're going on vacation. I said, what? I said, don't you want to go to South Dakota, right? I said, yeah. So we're going to South Dakota tomorrow. We loaded up the horses. We went to South Dakota. I had $1,000 to my name. $1,000 to my name. Went to South Dakota. Spent the week with her. One of the best weeks of my life. Come back. And I had like $200 to my name.
Sure.
With no clue what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I'm doing. I had 2 jobs to do.
Uh-huh.
Probably $2,000 profit.
Uh-huh.
Sounds like a lot of money right now, but I mean, go pay your bills with $2,000 for 2 months straight, right?
Yeah.
And I did that, and it worked out. And I sat at home a little bit. I did this for a little bit, and then people just kept calling, and they kept calling, and it worked out.
But it would have never worked out if you didn't just jump.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
It's scary every single time.
100%. I was so scared. When I got home from vacation, my girlfriend was like, Are you really doing this? Mm-hmm. I said, yeah. This is first class flight work, and I'm going to do this, and we're going to figure it out. Mm-hmm. And here I am 3.5 years later, and I can't even put into words how grateful I am that I made that decision and how fortunate I am to have the people around me that I have and the crew that I have. My guys are amazing. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without them. And it was a complete shot in the dark.
Yeah.
Complete shot in the dark. Mm-hmm. And it was the best decision I ever made.
Yeah, how cool, man.
Nuts.
That's awesome.
Absolutely nuts.
And you had, at the time, no
intention to do this the rest of my life.
Well, I'm saying no education on how to run a business.
No, none.
All you knew how to do was lay concrete.
100%.
So you had to learn like the whole, like, write an estimate.
Yep.
You had to learn how to communicate.
Send invoices. Insurance.
Taxes.
Yep.
Payroll.
Yep.
All this stuff.
All of it. None. I had
advertise.
No idea. All I knew how to do was finish concrete, and I told myself I'm going to be the best at finishing concrete, and the rest will come.
Yeah, you're right, too.
And It didn't come easy. It sucked. There was a lot of failure.
Well, the thing is, though, is that quality sells every time, but quantity doesn't always sell.
Right.
Because like this is something that I definitely picked up, and I learned that there's some people that believe in like just quantity, and they're like, all I gotta do is sell a lot of it, which is like McDonald's philosophy, which is not actually they actually pull it off and they kill it, but they also made good burgers too, and they made a good system. So they had kind of the best of both worlds. The burgers do suck now, but
Right.
They definitely had a damn good system.
For sure.
But what I learned is that you buy something that's good quality. Sure, and you're like, damn, I have to spend this extra money. But you buy it and it's good, and you're like, okay, it was worth it. Like concrete work.
It goes back to that. It's $80. I'm not spending $80 on a bottle of liquor at Walmart.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll support him. I'll give him $80.
Let me just talk about concrete work. If you get it and it's nice and flat, and it doesn't crack, and it doesn't have any problems, and water doesn't run back into your house, and you don't have all these problems with it.
Right.
Someone's like, yeah, it was expensive, but damn, it looks nice.
Yeah.
Like, damn, it turned out exactly in my head. Actually, it turned out better than I expected in my head.
Yeah.
Like, it turned out amazing. But you got that, or you got this guy that's like, yeah, I could do it for $500 less than that guy. But he does it, and it cracked really bad, and then all the water runs back into your house. It doesn't look very nice, and it's low quality. They're not going to go back with that guy.
Right.
The next time they go get it done, they're not, because people want quality. And so, yes, it sucks, but at the end of the day, people buy quality.
For sure.
Not quantity.
And take that with a grain of salt, however, because I take pride in my work.
McDonald's is a perfect example.
I don't wake up wanting to be second, right? I mean, I wake up 100%. I'm going to be the best. I want to make sure I give every single customer I have the best product I have, this, that, and the other. And there are customers that complain about stuff that should not. I mean, it's like
You're saying they just nitpick everything?
they can't be satisfied, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's just people that can't be satisfied. I mean, they're just upset for no reason.
Have you learned just to take it?
Learn to take it, and I've learned to read people. Not completely. There's still every once in a while I'll run into a situation. I'm like, dang, I should have trusted my gut.
Have you also learned how to maneuver around the nitpicking?
No, absolutely not.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't, like I said, I don't wake up to go to work to be second. I wake up to go to work to be the best.
Yeah.
And I want to give every single customer I have the best product I can offer, because I want them to be proud of, hey, First Class did this. And I want them to go to this guy and say, First Class Flatwork did this. You need to call Logan. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So this goes back to earlier. 10 good jobs and 10 good words of mouth only equals one bad one. This one bad guy says this guy was awful.
Yeah.
Boom. Now there's many people pissed off and upset with you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's never fun to deal with those people.
Absolutely not.
The ones that if the job turned out bad, it sucks.
Right. And what do? You just eat the money and try to make them happy so they don't.
Do you redo it for free, or what do you do?
You have to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I've been in one situation where I didn't think that it was justified to eat said dollars, and because this guy was, I mean, it was just like magnifying glass situation. But on the other hand, it's going to cost me $15,000 to get an attorney to get paid $10,000.
Can you show them though, like what they're nitpicking is unjustifiable? Can you walk them through it and be like, because in a car, people would nitpick paint jobs all the time. I mean, the whole car every panel on it could be destroyed. The car could look like a piece of junk when it comes in.
Right.
And then I redo every single little thing on the car. Comes out looking flawless, but there's one little problem on the bottom of the rocker, and they're like, well, what's up with this? You know, or like they nitpick something.
Yeah,
or like,
I mean,
even a better example would be maybe on a car that it was a white car. I remember white paints were really bad. Like they're really hard to match as far as when it comes to a metal panel and a plastic panel, the way the color shines off of it is a little different. And on top of that, the way the bump, like a bumper meets a quarter panel, the way it was curved. So the bumper's plastic, your quarter panel's metal. So the white on the plastic looked just a hair different than the white on the metal. even though I could literally put the bumper, I did this before, put the bumper on the car and sprayed it to try to make it match. And it still was a little off because the way the plastic took the color and the angle it was at made the color look a little different variant. People would complain about it. And I had to explain to them, I'm like, well, I had to explain literally that. I'm like, well, the way the color lays down, the way the bumper curves, and the different material makes the color look different.
Right.
I understand that you don't like the fact that it looks a little different, but if you go around to your front bumper, which we didn't paint at all, if we go around and look at it in the sun, it is also off. And you bought this car brand new from the factory. It is also off, and it's brand new from the factory. You just never noticed it because you never looked at it that closely.
Right.
And so I learned that along the way that, hey, I got to be educated because there's people that are going to test my education. They want me to prove to them why this is like this. And so I was just wondering, like, if there was ways that if someone was nitpicking something, you could explain to them, like, this is why this is, because it almost has to be like that.
I think regarding that situation and the education and being the best and this, that, and the other, I run into a lot. More times than not, I run into people trying to take advantage of me because I'm young.
Yep.
I run into people taking advantage. Sorry if I'm wording this wrong. Trying to take advantage of me and just question me over something they're not even educated on because I'm young, and then I give them the answer that they want to hear, and then they'll hit me with, "Okay, well, I just wanted to make sure."
Yeah.
What do you mean you wanted to make sure? You don't know what the heck you're talking about.
You.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
You hired me to do a job. Why you hit me with that? You know?
Yeah. It's an age. It's definitely the age thing.
Right. And I cross that bridge a lot, you know, and it's unfortunate because I work in where I work right now, you know, Franklin County, St. Charles County. I work with a lot of really, really, really good competitive concrete guys. And they're really good at their jobs. And then here I am, I just jump in the page, trying to make it. And then 3.5 years, I'm competing with these dudes. And it's cutthroat.
Yeah.
It really is cutthroat. And it's not like me versus you or me versus him. It's, I want to make $1 and you want to make $1. Let's find a way to make this work. But business is business, friendships are friendships. I know these guys outside of work. Drink beer with them every once in a while. I know some of their employees. But I mean, when it comes down to making money, it's like, hey, we both do fantastic work. If I get the job and you don't, sorry, it is what it is.
Business.
It's business.
It's just business.
Right. That's
all
it.
it is.
But I'll see the guy at the Croco store, you know, getting a breakfast sandwich. Hey, have a good Monday, buddy. You know,
Yeah.
Good seeing you. Because and regarding the circumstance, he keeps me in business and I keep him in business type deal. So
Yeah. No, there is a point where it comes down to just business.
yeah,
Like, you have to tell people that. Like, it's nothing against you, but I got bills to pay.
100%.
I'm hungry too.
Yep.
I want food on the table, and I got things I want to do and goals I'm trying to chase. And you got to be upfront with it. You just got to be upfront with it.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
And not for me anymore. I
think-
tell people all the time.
I've yet to cross that
money.
bridge. I've yet to cross that bridge.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'm bad at it. I'm too nice. Too nice. I have this weird part in my heart where it'll
come then.
I can't hurt somebody, man.
Oh, I'm not looking
Sucks.
to hurt someone.
I know you aren't, but you're
You
looking.
know how much easier it is whenever that situation comes about, right?
Right.
Where you're like, I kind of feel bad because I took that job. I quoted the job and I took it. If you told that person, like you had met, like if you never met someone before, like the people in the past are in the past now, like you're already suffering from
Right.
that.
Right.
But anyone new that you meet, you're like, yeah, I do concrete work, and they're like, oh, really? Me too. I own this company. You're like, oh, cool. You know, like, yeah, I know about you, and you do really good. If our paths ever cross, you know, like maybe if I have to quote something, you know, like I hope you don't.
It's not personal.
It's not personal. It's just business for me.
Yeah.
You know, and like that's what you just tell people.
Right.
Straight up. When I put someone in a rental property, I tell them straight up. The day I'm putting them in there, I'm like, you pay your rent on the 1st, and you take care of my house. Those are my 2 things I care about. You don't pay rent on the 1st, and you're not taking care of my property, you're out that day.
See ya.
That's it. I don't wait around. Like if you haven't contacted me by 5 o'clock that day, you're out. You need to get a hold of me the day before, the week before, whatever, if you can't afford rent that month or you have something come up where you ain't going to be able to pay me that day, you need to let me know. Because if you don't let me know, I'm not texting you.
I'm assuming you're skipping me. See,
I already got my attorney's number on speed dial. Call them, say, hey, we're starting the process. And there's a lot of times where they do pay me and I have to pay $100 for my attorney to start the process. But it's a lot easier for me to start that process that day. And I tell these people, I'm like, it's nothing against you, but this is business.
you're protecting yourself.
Yeah, this is business. I got to make money. And I'm like, if you pay rent on the first, you take care of my property, we'll be good friends. If you don't want to do that, we're not going to be friends. But I don't care. You're not moving in, and we're not going to be buddies. Like, if you want to be my friend, pay your rent on the first, take care of my property.
So
Super easy.
So, regarding that circumstance, very different situation regarding buddies in business.
Yeah.
My so-called foreman, my guy that pretty much runs the company when I'm not there, Dawson, he's my best friend.
Yeah.
Like, by far.
Comes to the gym, right?
Dawson's the guy that goes to the gym with me, yeah.
Yep.
By far my best friend. I mean, do anything for this guy.
Cool.
We go to the gym together. We work together 5-6 days a week. We go fishing together in the summertime. We go to the lake together. We spend an astronomical amount of time together.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that's been involved in my life or Dawson's life recognizes that I own First Class Flat Work. Dawson plays a 90% large part in First Class Flat Work. Like most of my decisions that are made, I run by Dawson like, hey, what would,
Yeah.
because he's going to
need that.
He's going to be the guy.
Yeah.
He's going to be the guy.
Yeah.
So, I want him to be involved and I want him to see how it's working because my goal is to fly airplanes.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to say, hey, Dawson, here you go. He's going to be the guy. He is the guy. And I include him as much as I can. And people are mind blown. People are mind blown that me and Dawson are just as tight as we are and we trust each other the way we do. But we go to work for 40 hours a week and don't rip each other's heads off.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Were you guys friends before?
Yeah, I've been friends with Dawson for
Really?
8 years.
That's where it's usually surprising.
But that's why it blows everybody's mind.
Yeah.
But Dawson and I have this understanding that business is business,
Yeah.
friendship is friendship.
Yeah.
6:30 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. If you and I are at each other's throats, hey, that was a Monday.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? It's 4:30. We're going to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it matters. I think that's like, you got to be straight up from the get-go like that.
I think that's why Dawson and I are so successful. And
For sure.
I think that's why First Class Flat Work's so successful because Dawson and I make this team that just
I have a friend.
it's not beatable.
I have a friend that's they probably make $7 million a year. Kill it.
Right.
Kill it. I remember when they started out, they're the exact same way. The one gentleman started the business. My friend started in under him as an employee. They're in the trucking industry, but they went so many years. But my friend was bringing a bunch of work in. He was killing it. It was the exact same way. Like it was business. But my friend was a very hard worker, a very solid dude, and he was showing up every day like he owned the business.
Right.
Like he was wanting to be the best.
Right.
And he was doing everything he can to and it was business first. There was no, from what I know, I'm sure there were some slack off days and stuff like that, but there was majority of the time there's no slack off. It's how can we profit today? How can we make money? How can
100%.
we? And he made money off commission, so I think that helped his drive. But now they're partners in a business and they're slaying. Like there was a time, and I didn't know the gentleman that owned the business at the time, but I've talked to him now. I know him very well, and he talked about a time where he had to borrow money to pay rent at the beginning, and now
It's tough, man. It's
and now
so
making
tough.
$7 million a year, freaking killing it. So you can work, but it has to be, hey, this is business from the get-go.
Right.
And they're both
100%.
like that. They both have that mindset. And I think as long as it's like that from the beginning, you can have it. I want to grab a beer real quick.
For sure. I'll take you up on that.
You want one too?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Thank you, sir.
Gotta go Michelob now.
Appreciate it. I'll drink a Mick Ultra. I'm not opposed to it. I'm usually just too broke to drink it.
I always drink Natty Light from 16 years old till 28.
Really?
Drink Natty. Just switched over to Michelob just because.
Nothing wrong with it, buddy.
I don't know.
I drink a lot of natural light. Best friends is a broad term for me, but my best friend Brent, and I drink Bud Light natural light with that guy, and 7 and 7s. We either drink a Secret 7 and a 7-Up or a natural light. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I grew up in like the same crowd, and it was everybody drank Natty.
You went to Owensville?
Yeah.
You know Brent Hook?
Yeah, I know Brent.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know Brent very well.
That's my best friend.
Yeah. Shout out Brent Hook.
That's why I know your neighbors.
Yeah. Yeah, I know his dad and stuff too. Yeah. Great guys.
Yeah.
Great guys.
For sure. Back to before we got a beer. Business and friendships.
You got something to finish on it?
I do.
All right, let's
I
hear
do.
it. Let's-
Simply because I know Dawson's going to hear this, so I want to end it on this.
Okay.
I take great
Should have
pride.
brought him.
I should have.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it again. Dawson, come.
I'm down, man. I'm down.
Because first class Flatworks, now it is without him. I take pride in being where I'm at. And it comes with a lot of the judging of must be nice type stuff, stuff like that. But Dawson's he's been here since day one. Before I could even afford to hire an accountant to pay my employees. Like, hey man, I'll pay you $250 to come help me pour this driveway.
Yeah.
Type deal. Like
I
cash
need help.
money. Cash money.
Please come help me.
Please come help me. I'll pay you cash, right?
Yeah.
And this dude, him and I sat down time and time again and talked about the bigger picture and this, that, and the other. And he graduated from Lindenwood, 5-year wrestler. Graduated from Lindenwood with 3.0 plus, with a degree in sports medicine, I think it was.
Sports medicine, exercise science.
Science, something like that.
Yeah.
Called me and said, Logan, I want a job and I want to take this shit to the moon. And I said, boom. Shook hands and.
I've seen that a lot actually.
And ever
Someone
since.
in his atmosphere, because they go to school for this passion that they love,
Wrestling, in his case.
wrestling, and they want to train wrestlers,
For
like
sure.
at a maybe a collegiate level, maybe Olympic level of some kind, and they have this dream to chase. But then I don't know Dawson, like I can't speak for Dawson, but I do know some people that have done the same thing. 4.0, Dean's List, exercise science, want to train athletes, college level,
Right.
get out of school, go to a blue collar job.
Yeah, just go do something
I think,
terrible.
From what I've understood, is that they did school, they love school, they realize that the market is very competitive to get a job.
For sure.
The ones that I know, they love their country lifestyle. They don't want to move to a big city, Miami, LA, New York, St. Louis.
Exactly.
They love their small town life. And as much as they want to go train still, like they still would love to do it, it's almost out of realm of possibility because they're not willing to give it. Like I love where I live. I love small town America. Like this is what I love. I've thought about moving out before.
Dude, when you told me your address was Rosebud, I was like, my man. That's the move.
I love it, dude. I love being out of town. I love being able to barbecue and fry fish on the weekends and drink beer and have a fire with my friends. And
Hell yeah.
I got a shop and we've hung out and had shop parties. And I love privacy. And like, if I want to go shoot a deer off my back porch, I can.
For sure.
Like I love that. I don't want neighbors. I don't want chaos. And I don't want that lifestyle. I don't need to go to Kmart every Tuesday. I don't need to go shopping. I don't need to go to the mall. If I want to go to the movies, I can drive 30 minutes. It's not a big deal.
I'm with you.
I enjoy riding county roads, like just riding around, just looking at deer and just hanging out, listening to music. Like I love the small town life.
I'm taking a long way home from here. I'm going to go
why
down
not?
Dan's Road and down.
Why not?
All the way to Highway Angel Road and all that. That's why I'm going home. It's going to be nice.
Cruising.
Roll the windows down, chill out a little
Beautiful day out today.
bit. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Can't beat it. That's the move.
Yeah, you can't do that in the city.
Absolutely not.
Are you gonna drive? You can't drive down county roads.
I have opening day Cardinals tickets tomorrow.
Oh, so you got the day off tomorrow?
No.
Oh, you're still gonna go to work?
We're leaving. We're going to job at 5:30. Mm-hmm. I looked at the KSTK update.
Beautiful day for a Cardinals game.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I've never been to opening day. You ever been to opening day?
Nope. I was just saying this year, just a couple months ago, I was like, I've never been to opening day, and I probably never will, though.
So.
I'm not a crowd guy.
Same. Me either. So.
Looks fun.
It does look fun. I'm going now. My dad's friend is a carpenter at Busch Stadium,
Okay.
and I have poured concrete for said guy. Did a good job. Known him my whole life. He recently approached me. He gets free tickets all the time. I mean, he's seen a million, bazillion Cardinals games. He doesn't care. And he said, "Hey, Logan, I have this much concrete I need poured. I'll buy the material. I'll set it up. All I need you to do is come lay it down, and I'll give you 2 opening day Redbird Club seat tickets."
Nice.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So
Perks of the job, right?
yeah. So he's sending me down to the Cardinals game tomorrow, and I'm taking my buddy Austin, which is going to be great because,
So you're getting up and laying the concrete for him in the morning?
yeah. So, no, it's not even for him. This is for a factory in Pacific.
Oh.
Yeah.
You got to go do that another time.
We're going to do it a different time.
Okay.
We got to be in St. Louis by 10:30.
AM?
10:30 a.m. Dude, I didn't know. The game's not till 2:30. I didn't know Open Day was a straight-up festival. I mean, there's...
I knew it was a festival. I knew, like, they're going to
didn't
have
know
roads
that.
blocked all. Oh, yeah.
It's like a party.
Yeah.
Like
it's
Ballpark Village, like there's Hall of Famers, the Clydesdales. I mean, it's a straight-up
Yeah,
party.
it's going to be insane. Because even people not going to the game, they're going to Ballpark Village.
Straight
They're
up.
hanging outside the ballpark.
Oh, yeah.
They're just rallying, having fun.
Right.
Yeah, I watch videos on it every year, and it's just like, oh, that looks.
I've never been, and I'm stoked.
You're going to have a good time.
So we went to work today, got this job ready to go at this factory, and Dawson asked me if I'd help out in the morning. So we're gonna leave the house at 5:30. Show up, pour concrete from 7 to 8:39, and then I'm gonna go pick up Austin, and we're gonna go downtown St. Louis. So
Is it on the way? Is Austin's on the way?
I'm gonna meet him in Pacific.
Okay.
Pick him up.
Just gonna bring like a change of clothes or something?
Yeah, his company where he works at, their shop, I guess you would call it, it's in Pacific. So I'll meet him there. There's a shower and stuff there. Take a shower
Oh, cool.
and head down to St. Louis. So that'll be sweet.
Cool.
I'm stoked.
I kind of want to talk on this house. You say you want to buy a house, and you can't buy a house. What's up?
It's tough, man.
I got some. I always told you on your first house you should buy You got any interest in rental properties?
Yeah, that's gonna be. I hope that's my retirement. I mean,
Nah, screw that, dude.
as self-employment, you have other options, I guess. But I mean, when you're self-employed, you don't have money coming out of your paycheck going into a retirement fund. So you just,
Yeah.
oh, one day I'm gonna retire and there's $1 million in there. It
Yeah.
doesn't work that way. I'm responsible for my retirement, right?
Yeah.
So
Rentals are great. I honestly, the way I look at rentals now, I got into rentals before I owned a business, but
Right.
now I look at rental properties as a investment for whenever you're in business, for business, when you're making money and you need to put the money somewhere other than just paying taxes. That's where rentals come in.
right.
That's where the big benefit gets.
Because the best part about being your own boss is not working for the guy, but at the end of the day, you do work for
Still
the
work for
guy.
him.
You
Yeah.
work for Uncle Sam.
Yeah,
You know, everybody works for Uncle Sam.
but he gives you benefits for buying things like
sure.
rental properties.
There's, I know a very successful businessman, and he told me the normal worker man is getting screwed when you look at tax benefits to a business owner regarding write-offs.
I don't think people realize how much they're getting taken out of their paycheck every week.
Dude, I mean, I buy a pair of boots. Guess what? First Class Network bought those boots.
Yeah.
I wore them to work.
Yeah.
They might be cowboy boots that I wore to work one time, but guess what? They're a write-off.
Yeah.
That's $250. I'm
That's
not
a benefit,
paying taxes
right?
on. I mean, that's
you can never do that working for somebody else.
never.
And the nice thing is when you're working for yourself, you get 100% of the funds first. You get to spend as much of it as you want. It's supposed to be on business. And then you pay taxes on what's left.
Right.
But like an employee, they get, what happens is if you're an employee, if you're working for somebody else right now and you're listening to this podcast, you make $1,000 that week, but the government takes $400 from you, and then you get what's left over. Right. So before you touch your money, the government touches your money.
And they already decided how they're spending that $400.
Yeah, like you're never gonna touch that money.
Never.
But as a business owner, you get paid $1,000. You get to spend X amount of money. You can be up to $1,000.
As I say, I can spend that whole entire $1,000 as long as I spend it on my company.
Yep, and you don't pay a dime of taxes on it.
None.
Because it's already spent.
None.
And
It's an investment.
it's an investment, but you got to invest it back into your company. But as long as you invest it back into your company, if you
And be able to prove it.
You have to be able to prove it.
Be able to prove it.
So you have to legitimately invest back into your company.
So when Uncle Sam comes to knock and you say, "Here's a receipt,"
yes.
you know.
It has to be legit, but as long as you're in a business that you can put things back into tools or materials or something that's going to, like me at my gym, I buy a fridge and I stock it full of drinks. That's the way I, like if I make some extra money, I'm like, okay, here's a $5,000 fridge. I can invest in it, but I can put a bunch of drinks in it and make money off of those.
Right.
Sure, you're going to have to pay taxes on it eventually. Or say you got extra $50,000, you go buy a $50,000 house and put somebody in to rent it and write it off.
For sure.
And then you don't pay taxes on it.
For sure.
And Uncle Sam's okay with it because you're housing American citizens that they don't have to house. Because that's what ends up happening. If they need to take the money out of your paycheck as an employee so they can give it to these people that can't pay, that need unemployment.
Right.
So they can pay their house payment or their rent payment. And they're taking that money out of your paycheck. Whoever's listening, that's an employee. They're taking that money out of your paycheck and they're giving it to this person that's not working to pay for their house. And they're giving that, the person that's paying for that house, I own. So I'm putting that back in my pocket.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And then all I got to do is reinvest it in something else and keep deferring it all along the way. You have to pay taxes. Eventually you do, but you don't have to pay as much. And the government doesn't have to have the control over it. You can have the control. If you need new tools, you need new boots, or you need a new work vehicle, you get to spend the money on it. It's not just because as an employee, you're getting taxed. As soon as before you get the paycheck, if you got $1,000, you're getting $600. The money's already taken out. You don't even get to touch it.
40%. See ya.
Yeah, gone. Boom.
See ya.
Yeah.
Done.
Peace.
You don't know if it's going to grandma. You don't know if it's going to the highways.
Yep.
40%.
I'm out of here.
See ya. Done.
Yeah.
Not even touch it.
And then everything you buy, same thing, tax. So, and then you get taxed on it again at the end of the year. It's chaos.
Which is same concept. Why it's so beneficial to own your own company, because you can justify as to where X amount of dollars goes. Right.
Yes.
Is it scary? Sure.
Yep.
Do you have to be responsible? 1,000%. Because like you said, somebody might write me a $20,000 check tomorrow. That's my money.
Yeah.
That's my money.
Yeah. New truck sound good.
Yeah.
New truck sounds good.
But at the end of the day, let's say $6,000 of that money's profit. Great, fantastic. So I can show $14,000 of expenses.
Yeah.
If I can't spend that $6,000 on something that is an investment, quotations, I better invest 40% of that $6,000 to a tax fund, because at the end of the year, when Uncle Sam says, "Weird, you grossed $400,000, but you only paid in $20,000. You owe us 60 G's."
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
So
You got to plan.
So with the freedom, it comes of being a business owner and spending the money the way you want to and spend your taxes the way you want to, comes an absurd amount of responsibility.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting money taken out of your paycheck.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah, and I do think, like, because someone's listening to it and they're like, well, how do I learn? And what, like, I was never taught anything. How do I know how to do that?
I wasn't either. I had no idea.
Yeah. But they have books. Schools aren't going to teach you it because schools don't want you to be.
1,000%. They want you to work for the man.
Yeah, they want. I'm pretty sure that schools back in the day, public schools were made by the Rockefellers. I'm not kidding. I'm pretty sure they were made by the Rockefellers to make employees.
I believe it.
Because they needed people to work in their factories and work for them, and they needed them to have some level of general education. So that's where the public school came in, where they're like, everybody gets to go to school. I'm pretty sure. We could look it up. Look it up. If you're driving down a car right now or down the road right now, don't look it up now, but look it when you get to work.
Rockefeller General Studies.
Like, yeah, Rockefeller Public School connection. Maybe Google that.
I'm going to do that.
I bet there's a connection. I almost guarantee it.
I believe there is. 1,000%. Did Rockefellers create the school system? The Rockefellers say about public education.
Why is the government so passionate about you learning? Why do they give a damn?
And why?
They want to keep you dumb.
And why do we got to take personal finance that has nothing to do? I
It's not even like-
shouldn't say nothing what I want to do, but I don't know how to invest in anything right now.
Personal finance isn't even nothing about personal finance. It's write a checkbook. That's it.
1,000%.
That's all it is. All they teach you is write a check.
And joke's on you.
Write it down.
I own my own company, and I didn't know how to write a fucking check until I was 6 months into that damn thing.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was terrible. My accountant was like, "Logan, you got to figure this out."
Yeah. But you don't balance your own checkbook, do you?
No, everything's counting. Everything's counting. I pay somebody for that.
Yeah.
That's the benefit of not working for the man. You say, here, accountant, here's a check. Please don't let me go to prison, or owe X amount of dollars to Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
So,
What's it saying? I don't even know where my phone's at. I'm gonna go grab my phone.
I'm working on it. Your argument's convincing. Your argument's very convincing, in case you were wondering. I don't want to read it because it's not quote for quote, but I mean, I'm not going to tell you wrong.
Paraphrase it. Can you paraphrase it?
They invested a astronomical amount of money into the general public and general education, hoping that everybody could live the same life with the same education.
Yep.
Hoping that everybody could turn 20 years old with a broad idea as to what was going on in life.
Because they needed higher educated people coming into the workforce.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. It's crazy. But go back to the house thing, because we kind of got sidetracked from that. It's amazing how we get sidetracked sometimes. But
Sorry about that.
I always tell everyone, I'm like, first house, duplex. If you can buy your first house as a duplex, if you want to get in rental properties, duplex for sure.
I agree.
Because you can rent out one side.
Pay for itself.
And pay for itself, and you're just living for free.
My situation was difficult because
I know of a duplex in Rosebud that's going to be up for sale soon.
I'll buy it.
You just said you didn't want to. You said it was a difficult situation.
My situation is difficult regarding banks. So this is
okay.
regarding banks.
I thought you were going to say, like, because you need a shop for a trailer.
No.
Okay.
Financially.
My bad. Sorry for laughing.
Yeah, God.
Wasn't laughing at you. I was
No.
just laughing at the situation.
It's all good. I do want to buy it. It's tough because you're. I can't speak for all business owners, but construction, your goal, at least from my experience in the 25 plus year business owners I've talked to, your goal is to show a loss for the first 3 years as a blue collar construction owner, right?
Sure.
So theoretically, Logan West has not shown a profit for 3 years.
Sure.
Why is a bank going to loan me any amount of money, regardless of how much I have to put down?
Yeah.
You know, whether it's $20,000.
I've had some people ask me that before, too.
Whether it's $20,000, $50,000, $75,000 I had to put down, the bank's not going to loan me the money because I haven't made money.
Yeah.
Quotations.
Yeah.
In 3 years.
I would.
It's tough.
Well, okay, so I'm not. Let's take Logan out of this situation because we don't need to talk Logan's finances. But I'm going to talk general contractors of any kind, anyone that's in this type of field. A lot of times they're doing things for cash, right? So they get a lot of cash payments.
And that's tough.
It's tough. And they're trying to show a loss. So they're buying a lot of tools. They're investing in a lot of stuff early on to be able to write it off.
Yeah.
To get themselves going, but also to help them make more money. And I think that it does make it tough, but I also think that you got to find a bank that's willing to work with you, right? Like you got to find someone that's solid for you because there's a lot of banks. I had a bank one time, a gentleman at the bank one time, he wanted the same house I was buying, but I didn't know this. And he was also kind of jealous of my hustle. And he purposely I was trying to buy this house, but he wanted it. And since I wanted it, he wasn't able to buy the house. So he purposely kind of kept some things quiet that kind of messed up the deal from me being able to put in another bid. Like he could have easily been like, Ryan, no, you need to definitely bid higher because this house is going to go higher. Like he couldn't tell me like, hey, someone else was bidding on it. You need to bid higher on it. But because he wanted it, he didn't want anybody else to get it. And he told me, he ended up coming out and saying it. He's like, if I can't have it, I don't want anyone else to have it.
Oh, shit.
And we were like, well, wouldn't you rather have someone you know get it than someone you don't know get it? He's like, no, if I can't have it, I don't want anyone to have it. And it ended up to me, it was a jealousy thing. He was young and he was old. He was a little older than me, but he was young. And I think it was a jealousy thing. And you got to make sure you stay away from people like that. But you're going to have that. And you're not going to know you're going to have that until it happens.
Right.
Until a situation like that happens. And I think that also, like I have a banker that is solid. Like she is solid. Like she will pull some strings. Like the only reason I have some of the things I have is because she did some things that no other banker would ever allow happen. But I had someone basically on the inside that was willing to put the neck on the line for me because she knew I was a hard worker.
She's confident you're gonna make the payment.
Yep. So she was like, she would basically be like, Ryan, I know you can make this happen. I came to her with the plan, told her the plan, and she's like, yeah, you can do it. Let's do it. And so she would make it happen. And I didn't even believe myself. I came up with a plan because I thought it was crafty.
Good for you.
Because I thought it could happen, but I didn't know. I wasn't confident that I could do it. But I told her it, and she's like, yeah, that's it. We can do that. We can make that happen. So she would go through and she would like make some stuff happen. My gym is a good example of it. Like I
love the gym. Shout out Fitness Parlor.
Thank you. Yeah, shout out Fitness Parlor. If you guys don't know, now you know.
How you know?
But when I bought it, I was supposed to put $80K down. I put 2% down. I put
2% of 80.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm talking cash.
Right.
I did put equity and stuff in.
Yeah.
But we were able to
We don't got to talk about that.
It's all good. Like, but when I went in, they were telling me because I wanted to put equity in that they were wanting me to use 35%. Like they wanted me to, because they're like, well, if you're going to use equity, won't you have 35%? I'm like, 20% is 20%. Why do I have to put down more?
Right.
And then it came like I was just like, Stephanie, it can't happen. Like I can't do that. But
this is what I have envisioned. Like this is gonna make money.
Yeah.
It's gonna pay the bills itself. This is where I'm at.
Yeah. And she's like, all right, let me see what I can do. And they came back to me with that. And it wasn't even until it came down to, I didn't know how much money I was gonna have to put down cash. But I told them I wasn't gonna be 35%. I was able to do 20%, but I was like, I don't want to because I need.
It's gonna make its own money. Why would you?
Yeah, and I need some money to put back into the business, right? I need some money to get started. So I'm like, don't make me do that. Like, let's make something happen. I have equity in all kinds of things. Let's use some equity up. Like I have equity sitting, wasting money. Just sitting around collecting dust. You got to find someone that's willing to do that for you, because you go in with a plan and you show them like, hey, I made this much. Let's say like I made 100K this year. Yes, I dumped 80K in the tools, and it shows that. Or let's say I dumped 100K in the tools, but you're like, I did that just because I didn't need them, but because why pay taxes on it? That's the way I look at it. So I spent it all on tools,
100%. So
I didn't do it, but be like, I cannot buy that tool and then buy this house if you want me to do that. Like you can show.
Right.
If you find someone that is willing to listen to you and actually want to work, because at the end of the day, you're working with your bank.
For sure.
When your bank gives you money, you're not working for your bank. You're working with your bank. They are now partners with you because they're loaning money out on you,
right,
hoping that you're going to pay it. And so a lot of these loan officers, they're like, oh, they got this like control thing. They're like, I got the money and you come to me and you do the demands I say.
Right.
It's not like that.
No.
You're in control, but you got to come to them and be like, this is what I want. This is how it's going to work. Like a good example, maybe you make, if you make 100K a year, but you make 50K in cash and you don't report it. I'm not saying you do it. If IRS is listening right now, if you guys are listening, I'm not saying he's doing it. I don't know his finances.
I don't have 50 G's in cash, so don't.
But let's just say a contractor makes 50K in cash.
Right.
And they keep it off to the side and don't report it. And so they only make $50,000 that year, but 40K of it is in materials. And then, there's only 10,000 there that's left to spare and doesn't look like you made very much money that year. Write that number down, what you make every single week, like in cash. That way, whenever you go to the bank, close the door and be like, listen, dude.
Right.
I have made this much in cash, but I'm not going to report it because I'm not giving up 40%. And next year, I'm going to double that. I'm going to work harder. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to work even harder. But I can show you, this is how much money I make every single week. This is how much the business still shows on profit that I run through the system. And next year, I bought this stuff last year that cost me this much. That's why I showed a loss. But next year, I'm not going to have to buy that. So I'm going to be able to show even more profit. And you go to them, you show that kind of stuff, and I guarantee someone will give you money. Guarantee it.
So
Or if you got equipment that's worth some money.
So 2 years ago, I was not even in the market to buy a house. I was still fresh out of college trying to figure out what I'm doing, right? And I bought a $64,000 skid steer.
Yeah.
Best investment, not even close. Not even close the best investment I ever made. Because when I went in business for myself, a skid steer obviously is a very important part to a flatware company. I use it every single day.
Yeah.
I was renting one and it was $400 a day. I was spending, $1,200 a week.
Yeah.
Literally $1,200 a week
Yeah.
in rental. On top of that, I gotta sell this job to get this job. $1,200 more than this guy that owns his skid steer just to pay for my rental. So I'm already $800 more than this guy, and I gotta make profit. Mm-hmm. So that was really, really tough. Now, go to Kubota or your bank and say, hey, I know I'm 20 years old, but if you could write me this $64,000 check, I promise you I can make us money. Mm-hmm. And I did.
Yeah. Who did it? The bank or the Kubota?
The bank did.
Bank did it for you.
The bank did.
Who did it? Do you know that officer? That loan officer still?
Yes,
You should go back to them.
I do. I do work with that guy.
Yeah. You should go back to that guy and be like, hey,
And
I need a house.
he's been by my side this whole time. He's
Yeah.
good dude.
You need
Good
to go
dude.
talk to that dude.
And
Break down things for him.
I approached him.
Go
and
in breaking things down.
And I said, dude, comes to breakdowns. So I had a spreadsheet. I said, here's what my bids are for X amount of dollars. Here's my profits. Here's my material. Here's my rental. And I gave him the rental. And he goes, dude, you're spending like $30,000 in rental a year. Mm-hmm. I know. That's why I'm asking you for a loan to buy a $60,000.
2 years, this thing's paid off.
Right.
Yeah.
So I approached him and I showed him that. And he's like, well, Logan,
And the cool thing about materialistic items, if you get in a pinch, see ya.
Yeah.
Sell it.
Sell it.
It always sell.
Right.
It always house,
For sure.
tractor,
Yeah.
Kubota, skid steer, sell. It always sell.
No, that
Materialistic items.
my skid steer now, I could sell. I've owned it. It's a 2021 model, I think. 2021. I don't know. Been that long. This guy, I could sell it for literally.
Because the market went up.
I could sell it for the same price I paid for it.
Yeah, because the market went up.
It's
But you can't
absurd.
always adjust. You can't always.
I'm not banking on
You
that.
can't always bank on that.
I'm not banking on that. It could happen though.
Yeah.
Even
In this
if
instance, it's great.
even if I sold it for $10,000 less than I paid for it, it's made me X amount of dollars. Who cares, right?
Yeah.
But that guy, this goes back to what you're talking about, the banker and trusting your banker. That guy took a chance.
Yeah.
But if I was some kid that walked in there in raggedy clothes, no plan,
They didn't look like a worker.
I showed up there with, hey man, I want to pour concrete. Can I have a $60,000 check? That guy's going to laugh at you. Mm-hmm. But I went in there after, which is still way green, year and a half of business, and I said, here's what I have in this, here's what I have in rental, material, this, that, and the other. He goes, wow, you spent that much last year? I said, yeah, here's my taxes. Sign the check. There you go.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I own a brand new machine. I don't own a brand new machine because I went and paid cash for
Why
it.
don't you do it for a house, though? What's stopping you from doing it with your house? Like a house you want to buy?
And look at it that way.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
I didn't look at it that way one bit.
I mean, the house ain't going to make you money. But if you're like, okay, I know how to work on a house. Like, I know how to fix things on a house. Just be like, when you find a house, right? You got your other finances laid out.
Right.
And you're looking for a house and you're like, okay, I finally found a house. And you find one that maybe just needs a little bit of work. But you know that it needs, like, it can be, if you buy it, put a little work into it, it can be 20% more in value. Just be like, hey, this house, like, go in, show it to him, be like, hey, this house is $100,000, but it needs a little work. I think I can get it for 80. And then if I just put this little bit of work in it, it can be 120, 140, and so it'll have all this equity in it, and like, just be like, I can prove to you I can afford it. I can prove to you that's going to have equity in it. Maybe the first one, but they're going to tell you they're going to want 20% down, but just be like, I have 10% down, cash.
That's the problem.
No, not even. You don't even want to put 10% down.
The cash is tough. Because cash is there. The cash is there, right?
Yeah, but you need it for jobs and.
No, not even that.
No.
How do I approach said loan officer and say, hey man, I'm pulling this number out of my ass. Don't rob me. I have $50,000 worth of cash.
Oh, what are they gonna do? They have loan officer is nobody. They have no authority.
Yeah, what happens when I buy said house, and then Uncle Sam comes and knocking the first class firework and says, "Oh, you bought this house 20% down. Where'd that $50,000 cash come from?"
That's a good question. I wouldn't worry about that though. I wouldn't. I would.
I don't think they associate Logan with first class though.
Well, no, I wouldn't. Yeah, I would say they probably do, but I wouldn't like the 20% down. I don't think they're looking at that as any type of profits or where you're getting that from or anything because it's not illegal to have cash at your house.
Absolutely not.
And
or gun safe full of cash.
yeah, you could literally have a stack of cash and a gun safe that you started saving from when you were 1 year old, and just
I got it for my birthday every year.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do?
My grandpa gave me $5,000 for every birthday.
Right.
I've been good with money.
Yeah.
You know, like that's not.
1,000%. That's not illegal.
And so, I mean, I don't know.
It's tough.
I don't think it's illegal to gift it, but
it's unfortunate that cash is scary.
And I don't think that unless you're trying to buy like $1 million home where you got to put $200,000 down on it or more,
right?
I don't think it's going to throw a red flag. If you're putting $5,000 in a bank account cash every week and you have no way to show it,
right?
And somehow after the end of the year you got hundreds of $1,000s in there, and they're going to be like, okay, where's all this money coming from?
For sure.
But if you put one $20,000 payment down or one $40,000 payment down on a house, I don't think they're going to question it.
I'm with you.
Because how many times you spend money at the bar and on T-shirts and on lunch and all this random money that never gets accounted for?
I just bought a dumbass boat that I didn't need.
Yeah, like things that, you should have definitely bought a house before the boat.
I agree, but
you'll get your money back out of the boat.
Live a little bit, I guess.
Live a little. You're young. You're fine.
Live a little bit.
I don't think they're going to question it. The cash part of it. I don't think unless it's a large chunk.
I think I overthink the whole IRS thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think that comes to being the entrepreneur, right?
People blow money on stupid stuff all the time.
I know.
Watches, shoes, money just up. Like money comes in. Like there's probably what your down payment is. Let's just say your down payment. Let's say you buy a $200,000 house and you need $40,000 down. Right? That's a pretty good house. $40,000. If you make only $10,000 a year, it doesn't have to be in your bank account, and you probably spend 50% of it on stupid stuff.
Right.
So they don't know what's going to burgers, and they don't know what's going to tennis shoes, and they don't know what's going to gas and all this random stuff.
Netflix and
it just disappears. And so it's probably pretty easy to show that, hey, I have accumulated $40,000 over the past 5 years of my life. Pretty easy. Like that's pretty easy.
Right.
Like in 5 years, you had to save $10,000. That's pretty easy to believe.
I would assume that somebody could save $2,000 in 5 years or a year. I mean,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah. Like I don't think it's. I wouldn't worry about it.
I'm with you.
I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
But you just gotta prove to the bank that you can do it. They'll do it.
I think the biggest thing I could take away from this is go to the bank with a plan.
Go to the bank with a plan.
Go to the bank with a plan.
And have a loan officer you can trust.
I have
a good loan officer. Like I said, I bought a $500,000 building with 2% down. Cash. It's possible.
You're a dog.
I'm just saying it's possible, and all you gotta do is find somebody that's willing to do it for you. You gotta find.
They have to see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
They got to see the investment.
I've been turned down a lot. I have been turned down a lot, but also 1 yes and 10 no's. Still yes.
100%.
Right? Like at the end of the day, I got rejected.
Look at the gym. That bitch is popping.
Jim's doing very well.
The gym is awesome, man.
But I put in the work there too.
You did.
I guarantee there's not another gym around that advertises every single day. I advertise every day. Every day I get up and I'm like, what am I going to advertise for the gym?
And you have
And I try to improve everything about the gym all the time.
I'm gonna word this the best way I can. You have at the fitness parlor, you have a very distinct group of people that are all small town, comes back to said bourbon, that take pride in going to the gym in Owensville.
Yeah. Yeah.
I grew up in Union, and I have friends on my Snapchat list and, Facebook, whatever, from Washington, Pacific, St. Louis County, whatever. Why you go to the gym in Owensville? Because it's 15 minutes from my house, just like every other gym is, but the atmosphere is way different.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody takes pride, and everybody that's there takes pride in going there, and they go there for a reason. My reason is different than his reason, but there's a reason they're there.
I don't think the exact reason, yes, but I tell people this all the time. We're all going for the same reason. We're trying to better ourselves every day.
I agree. Every day.
Like it's not easy for anybody to show up to the gym.
Absolutely not.
So put some, like in my eyes, I'm like, put some respect on it, because at the end of the day, it is hard to show up for the gym.
For sure.
Like sure the gym is doing good, but I haven't even touched a fraction of the actual amount of people in our community. So the people that are showing up every day, kudos to them. Like, and they're my family. Like anybody that's in my gym, I have big respect for them, and I would literally do just about anything for them. Like,
you ever noticed? I've noticed, and I'm just a bystander. I'm not you. You notice how stoked people are when they see you when you're in the gym?
Stoked?
Yeah.
Really?
You ever noticed?
Never stoked, man. I always
You should. I noticed it. I'm like, damn.
really.
Oh yeah. People are stoked.
I never thought that.
They should. You should.
I always thought I was the guy that was like, oh crap,
No.
Ryan's here.
people
Straighten up.
People are like, this is how I see it. It's how Dawson sees it, and when I witness it, I think other people see it. I'm like, that dude's here. He owns it, and he's still here. So take pride in that.
All right, man. I appreciate that.
I think it's cool.
Yeah. Well, I one big thing for me for the gym is I want to make people feel welcome, because I never felt welcome in a gym when I was younger.
It's a nerve-wracking thing, right? I mean,
It is. It's intimidating.
I didn't go to the gym for 3 years. I didn't go to the gym for 3 years until 2.5, 3 months ago. And Dawson, my buddy I work out with, that dude's yoked. Dude, that guy's strong as an ox.
Yeah.
I don't like him being my workout partner,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he made me go, and I didn't want to go because he's twice as strong as I am. But at the end of the day, it's not about me versus you. I'm here for me.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's the thing. And there's a very wide variety of people at the gym. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
I want to let everybody know that they're welcome, though.
For sure.
I go out of my way to make sure I learn people's names, and I also make sure I go out of my way to help anyone that I can and make them feel comfortable in the gym. I have a list on my phone that I have every day of the month, I have an ad planned out. Like, I already know what I'm going to advertise for that day. Now, it's like, it might be vague. Like, it might be Axe and Sledge supplement of some kind for the day. I don't know exactly what supplement I'm going to do, but I'm going to advertise Axe and Sledge that day. So like, it's all planned out. But on the first of every month, I make sure I share a thing about making sure everybody feels safe and comfortable in my gym.
And I think that speaks volumes because you going out of your way to do that. I think there's a group of regulars that feel comfortable enough there that will make sure that nobody else is going to fail.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. You show me to him. The young kid that's there all the time. Starts with a D. Young kid. Yoked.
Yeah. Why am I if he's listening right now, I'm sorry, man.
Demetrius?
No, it's not Demetrius.
Dang it. What's his name?
Why can't I think of this? I know this guy. I know this guy's name very well.
Dang it. That kid is shredded.
Yeah, he is, man.
And I have
he's
seen
a solid kid.
And I have seen him personally.
Desmond. Sorry, Desmond, if you're listening, man, I apologize. I just had a brain fart. We had to have a couple drinks tonight. No, Desmond's a solid kid.
He goes out of his way to make sure nobody's going to get hurt, for one.
Yeah.
If he sees somebody, like, squat with their knees wrong, like, hey, man, why don't you try it this way? Mm-hmm. Or this, that, and the other, he's fit. He's obviously knows what he's doing. If you
Passionate about what he's doing.
Passionate what he's doing. And he feels confident enough to approach somebody to make sure they don't get hurt.
He doesn't do it in a disrespectful way.
No, he's
It's more like, hey,
very respectful kid.
if I could help you, I'm more than willing to help you if you'd like.
He's great.
I might have an input for you. He's very respectful.
Yeah.
Great gym etiquette. I know that
Very far from intimidating. He's not a huge dude, like looks like some crazy bodybuilder that's intimidating.
Yeah.
Now, is he shredded? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he's not 6'2", 275 pounds,
and he's not slamming weights,
Right.
grunting, yelling, throwing stuff around.
He's a great kid.
Very good gym. Yeah, he's a great kid. And one big thing that I've noticed about Desmond is that there's a lot of kids, and he's young. He's younger than you.
He's 2 years younger than me, right?
I would say he's probably 19 years old, maybe 20.
Sure, you're 3 years younger than me, yeah.
And he would come in, he played football in high school. He would come in with his buddies that they kind of get in this like groove where everyone, like maybe the coach is like, you guys should be working out outside of football practice.
Right.
So they all go join the gym. Well, all the other ones are just goofing off. They show up once a week. Mom's paying for the gym membership. And they don't even care to be there. They're just there because all their friends are there and they're goofing off. And they're scaring off customers. But then there's Desmond, who I've never seen him use anybody else's card, ever, to pay for his gym membership. He comes in, he finds a way to pay it himself. He's even straight up messaged before and was like, hey, man, I can't pay you today. My membership ends today. I can't pay you today. But can I get access and I'll pay you tomorrow? I get paid tomorrow. Can I get you tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah, man, absolutely. And I respect that. Because it's not him he's not trying to sneak in behind my back.
No.
He's straight up with me. And that to me is respect. And he's willing to come in, like all his friends quit coming, like they come in once a month or they come in maybe once a week and they're just coming in and they fall off because they don't even care about lifting or nothing. Like they don't have the motivation. They don't have the drive, nothing.
Right.
He's in every day. He doesn't need them. He found his own path. He found a way to motivate himself. Like to me, like I remember being that kid trying to find my path in life, and the gym was a big one for me. And I just I put a lot more respect on it because I know how hard it is to show up in the gym. I remember people making fun of me. It's like, oh, what you lifting weights? You just pick up weights all the time now? And I'm like, whatever, man.
Right.
Like, you just won't understand. But at the end of the day, it's so good for everybody. Even a 20-minute workout, just to come in, work whatever muscle group you're going to work, get some blood flowing in your body, get some blood flowing in your brain. Like that's all you need.
Clarity.
A lot of it for me, growing because I didn't work out the day in my life till I was 21 years old. I started the gym when I was 21 years old.
Really?
And never quit. I tried twice. I took weightlifting in high school. Didn't learn a damn thing. Didn't even ever lift because I didn't feel comfortable because I didn't know. Nobody taught me. Like I just got pushed to the back of the class basically. And then when I always felt pulled to it. So like 18 and 19 when I was in college, I joined a gym for a month. Went for a day. Didn't know what I was supposed to do. Had no one help me. Felt like I didn't belong. Even the gym owners didn't make me feel like I belonged. They're just like, yeah, sure, here you go, sign up.
Money.
See you later. Yeah, money. And then that was it. No, like, hey Ryan, how's it going? What you working on today, man? Never offered me a workout program, nothing. And so I would work out for a day, didn't make it. I was like, this ain't for me. I don't even know. I would go in and run on a treadmill for 5 minutes, and I'm like, all right, guess I'll go home because I don't know what I'm supposed to do that day.
All right.
And it wasn't until I was 21 I had someone help me, but it was so important for my life it got me through some really dark times, like some really low times. It also got me through, like I was an emotional kid. So I would I would let all this emotion like build up because I had energy,
right?
I had all this extra energy as a kid, and I'm talking kid at 20 years old had this energy, and it came out just in a burst of energy at one time, and it comes out in the worst possible time, like whenever I'm mad at my girlfriend or something.
Right.
So I ended up freaking punching a hole in the drywall or throwing a fit on someone. And it was just young and dumb and didn't know how to handle my emotion. But when I got in the gym, that's when I really started to get to know myself.
Yeah.
I got that hour to myself, and I'm taking the anger and the energy out on myself. I had a lot of anger when I was young.
I worked out for solid 2.5 years. And I mean solid. I mean, every day, twice a day, I had a group of buddies. But I had 2 or 3 guys I went to the gym with every day, and we killed it. And I was strong, and we were, I had a clear mind all the time, this, that, and the other, and then I got involved. I shouldn't say involved. I started dating a person, and I just wrapped myself up in that. I quit going to the gym. Mm-hmm. And that time, though, when I was going to the gym, that was in a bad place, man. My sister had passed away. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and I was just pushing.
Sister passed away?
Yeah. Yeah, I've lost 2 siblings. Yeah.
Holy cow, man.
Yeah, I lost 2 of them. One, my oldest sister, and I lost my youngest brother. Yeah. There's 8 of us. Now there's 6.
It's tough.
I mean, 8 of us. Yeah, but 6 left.
Tough, man.
Yeah.
Tough.
It's an ordeal. So
I'd say. We can't, we don't have time to talk about that today. I would love to hear about that, though.
yeah,
Are you okay talking about it?
I would love to talk about it. Changed my life. Changed my life.
Cool.
Changed my life for sure.
Oh, we were talking about the gym.
Oh yeah.
How impactful it was. Like how good it is for people. Not just physically, but mentally.
Last 3 months of my life. I won't go into details as to why it happened or why I'm at where I'm at. Last 3 months of my life have
Been tough.
probably been the darkest 3 of my life.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say that because obviously we just mentioned I'd lost 2 siblings. Those were obviously really,
Sure.
really, really dark times. But
Can we touch on maybe why it's like the way it is?
right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we
I'm
we
sure,
can
dude. I
skip
can
around
talk-
if you want.
I can talk about it. No, you're good.
Is it because of a breakup?
Yeah.
Relationship kind of thing?
Yeah.
A long one.
I was dating this girl for 4 years, man.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to marry her. She was the best thing that ever happened to me. I was in it. I was in it for the long run.
Yeah.
Just didn't work out.
Sure.
And
Do you know I had
sides.
something similar?
both sides, it was I probably spent more time focusing on my business and myself and my friends than I should have for her. But in the other aspect, she was also an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur, and she was running her own business and doing her thing. And I think it was right person, wrong time. I think we had our both things going. Like I need first class flower to just go to the moon.
Yeah.
I'm all in at this point, right?
Yeah. We're going to try. He wants to try the planters, Ozark Islands. So we're going to try this.
Oh yeah.
You want to try it now or you want to try it?
Oh, I'll try it right now. Missouri's own, baby. So,
Well, when you say, and the only reason I pried it out of you is because
that's the reason.
I think guys need to talk about it more because I think a lot of guys want to just pass. I think a lot of guys go through it. Almost everybody in their life is in a relationship sometime with somebody that they really care about, and it doesn't work out. Most people don't marry the first person they meet.
and
And they don't realize it at the time.
No. I was, when this happened, bro, I was so lost. I didn't know what to do. And,
You
okay,
should be, right?
Right,
If you care about the person, you should be
for
lost.
sure. I mean, this was my life. My life was first class flat work and said person.
Yeah.
And said person failed.
You had a plan in your head that was going
Right.
one way.
It was comfortable. It was perfect. We came home from work and we spent time together, this, that, and the other. It was the right person at the wrong time, and that's how I feel. I feel that way because it was probably 50-50 failure. I probably spent way more time
Yep.
focusing on myself and my company than I should have. Whereas, like I was mentioning earlier, she's an entrepreneur herself, and she was running her own company, and she was also
You know what?
doing this,
You're
that, and
also
the other.
just young and learning, man.
True,
It's not your fault. It's not her fault. It's nobody's fault.
for sure.
Life just didn't work out.
We just-
maybe right person, wrong time, but also maybe that was just part of the lesson.
Learning lesson, baby.
It's just it was more of like just a stepping stone in your life, and it's
I agree.
tough.
I agree.
And I'm telling you, I've been through things very similar, and went through some dark times after. I think if you don't go through a dark time after a breakup, you didn't really care about it.
Dude, I ain't shitting you. I've been the best me I could be for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Ever since first class flat work became a thing, I've been the best me I could be, and that's the truth. I'll take it with you.
New beginnings, man.
New beginnings. I'm with you.
I don't know.
That one's a little more bitter.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't as good as alimony. I don't know. I'm conflicting.
That one was rough.
Yeah, I don't know. I always remember that one being smoother than alimony, but damn, alimony was smooth earlier.
Holy mackerel, son.
It warmed me up though.
Oh yeah, I feel
It is a little. I keep it a cool. Like I bet it's 60.
that's like a flask whiskey.
62.
It's like a flask.
No, it ain't that low.
No,
Oh, okay, you're
I'm
saying
talking
something you
like
can sip on a little bit.
Sip on, be warm type deal.
Sure. Yeah, I would agree. Okay, yeah.
Like
a high end one.
You put in your pocket when you're riding a horse and you're cold. You're like, damn. Oh, now I'm warm.
Yeah, it's not like it's definitely higher than like the cheap whiskeys you can get at Walmart or something. But
it didn't taste bad. But being that these are made from the same gentleman, I was not expecting that.
It's preference too.
Right.
Preference. Some guys like that bite.
Straight
They
up.
like that warmth going down. They want that.
This was pure flavor and it was delicious.
Like I said, it's almost dangerous.
This was like you're saying. There's a guy out there that's like, oh, that was nice. I like that bite.
They're coming home from work. They put it in with a little bit of water and ice cubes, and they're just sipping on it.
Sipping on it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So,
well, I'm glad you talked about it a little bit. I just think I pride it out of you because I've had similar situations. Everyone I know.
did I get that vibe? How'd you know?
Well, I knew you for one, and then I know who you used to date.
True.
So like,
Fair.
I didn't know it, but you were
It's
hinting
obvious.
at it,
Right.
Well, you're just hinting at it, but it's I don't think it's a bad thing, and I think that also I know a lot of people that go through it and don't tell anybody, and they
Dawson got me in the gym.
they hide a lot of stuff, and I've seen some guys go through it and their life went down a really bad path, and then there's also people that go through it and they turn their life around. For even not like when I went through it, I wasn't even going down a bad path, but I wasn't doing everything for me.
I'm with you.
You know, like I wasn't chasing my happiness because I didn't realize that I didn't even know who I was. So I was a very young, confused boy. And it was easier for somebody else. It wasn't like, I didn't walk up to them and be like, hey, what should I do?
Right.
It was more like I would be talking about my opinions and then somebody would be like, here's my opinion, you should do this. And I would take it. Now I find things like books to read or podcasts to listen to. And I find things that I'm interested in and that I like, and I go pursue them and I get passionate and I dive deep down into them and I follow that path and I find like joy and happiness out of that. And I've learned to put my happiness first and not sacrifice. Like, now I'm willing to be happy with somebody else, but I can't take your happiness. Like, you can't come to me and be like, here's my happiness, take care of it.
Right.
I can't do that because I'm worried about my happiness too. I want to be with somebody that knows how to take care of themselves. And I think that's a big thing in life. And I think I didn't know that as a young kid. And so I had to go through some things, and I had to go through some emotions, and I had to learn the hard way. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
So when all this happened, you know, a couple months ago, 3-4 months ago, whatever it was, not to add on to said situation, but I am only 23, right?
Yeah. Young.
I'm owning the business. I'm taking the phone calls. I'm making sure these 4 guys get a paycheck every week. You know, I got a lot going on.
Yeah.
I'm not hating because I chose that route, and I'm proud of that route, and I'm glad I did do that route. But it is a stress, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, the person that I cared about the most just see ya.
Yeah.
You know, that threw a wrench in the fire like I never imagined.
Yeah.
You know? But here we are.
You find out what you're capable of, right?
I had no choice but to move on. I was like, hey, guess what? There's 4 guys that still need a paycheck. You go do it.
Yeah.
So, and I was in a bad spot. I joined your gym at the lowest point in my life.
Cool, man.
And
Oh yeah.
Dawson grabbed to hold me at work one day, and it was probably 2 weeks into the situation. And I was in a bad place, and I didn't notice it, but apparently I wasn't myself. And Dawson grabbed me, and he said, hey, we need to take lunch. He said, you need to sit down. And he sat down, and he goes, you can go get a gym membership. I've been going to the gym at the fitness parlor. He goes, you need to start going to the gym.
Cool.
And I started going to the gym, man, and it's like...
But the big thing is hold on to that stuff too.
It's like
You know,
5 years ago, man. But I feel right now, I feel so good right now.
Yeah.
Working out and getting.
But I learned that you got to hold on. You got to harness, like when you went to that dark spot, like that low spot,
You have to understand what
gotta
brought
hold
it
on to
and
that.
why it was there.
and you got to whatever brought you there, not to forget it,
For sure.
right? Like
For
if
sure. Absolutely.
people start dating someone new, life starts to get good, and they're like, I don't need the gym anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, yes, you do. Like bad times will come. Don't like. It's not like
Do come. It's not
Yeah.
will they come. They do.
yeah. And are you ready for them?
Right.
Are you calloused? Are you building yourself up? Are you prepared for the bad times to come? Just like with any type of business or investment, bad times will come. Sure, the sun's shining and life's good today, but guess what? Tomorrow the roof's gonna leak, the AC unit's gonna go out. If you're not putting money aside, it will happen. So yeah, hey, we're making money and life's good and like let's gloat and brag, but at the end of the day, like it might be a year, it might be 2 years, it might be 5 years, but something bad will happen. And if you're blowing all that money and you're not prepared, that roof's gonna leak and you're gonna have to replace it. And it's gonna cost you 10 grand. And you can either cry about it when it happens, or you can know because last time when it went out, that was a close one.
I had 10 grand sitting there.
Yeah.
Fix it and go on.
Yeah, and that's how I am now. And when you say you love stress, I wonder if you love stress or if you love the pressure, and you love like putting yourself in these tight knit situations to get out of it. Because I deal with a lot of stuff that people would consider stress that I don't even consider stress anymore. I am just like I literally have one day where like a roof needs replaced, and then the next day this machine at the gym's broke, and then the next day like this is going on, and I have like things from all angles coming on, and I'm like, all right, cool, let's go, let's handle it. I'll be there in an hour, and then I'm gonna send a guy out for that, and I'm gonna handle this stuff, and I love it. Bring it on, and know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put 2 podcasts on top of it because I'm good.
Right.
I don't need it.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I never looked at it that way. I looked at it as stress because when I looked at it, it was stress to a normal person. I never looked at it.
It started out as stress, and then you learned you could handle it.
It's stress
And then
as
you're like, I'm good now.
entrepreneur, as you guys would
Yeah.
say. It's you're absolutely right. It's pressure. It's pressure. That's your job. Your job. You took on the responsibility to be the guy and make sure these guys get paid. Make sure this job is going. Make sure this customer's satisfied. Make sure this job went well. That's your project.
Yeah.
You know, my project is not the same as Dawson's. Dawson's job is, hey, you go to work, the job gets done, you make sure everybody does their job. I'll be there when I can. This is that, right?
Yeah.
It's not the same.
That's stress for him.
That's stress for him. Pressure for me is getting the phone call that nobody wants to get.
Yeah.
You know, and
Making
it
sure.
happens.
Making
And
sure.
it happens. That's just that's part of it.
Yeah, you got to make sure Dawson's doing his job. You got to make sure the project turns out all right. You got to make sure the customer's happy. You got to make sure that Dawson and all your other employees are paid.
Right.
You got all this other pressure coming on you.
Now that you mentioned earlier, you said, I wonder if you think the stress is what you're obsessed with or the pressure. I never looked at it that way.
Yeah.
Considering it, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say it's the pressure.
Yeah.
To hell with the stress. Stress sucks.
Once you learn to handle the stress.
Stress sucks. Nobody likes stress.
No. And stress is one of those things that cause anxiety and depression.
Right.
Pressure is one of those things that
Pressure makes you do better and pushes yourself.
builds something,
Makes you
right?
push yourself, right?
Yeah. Right. It turns coal into diamonds, right?
I'm with you.
That's pressure is good because you're like, when there's pressure on me and I'm handling it, that means I'm doing something right.
I'm with you.
Yeah. And I think that's whenever entrepreneurs start to realize they like the process more than the end goal, because then they start to realize because once the pressure releases, like where they got the pressure of, someone calls them, right? And they're like, hey, I need this job.
Right.
Can you come look at it? The pressure's on. I need to show up.
You sell it.
I need to sell it. I need to show out. I need to make sure I can get it. The pressure's on this whole time. Pressure's on the whole time to get the material there, to get it set up, get it looking nice, to get paid. Once it's paid, pressure's off.
Right.
It's not about the paycheck. It is about the process of meeting the person, pricing the job, doing the job, getting the job and getting the satisfaction that, hey, this person likes it.
At this point, it's no longer concrete, right?
Yeah.
At this
It's
point,
entrepreneurship.
At this point, it's no longer concrete. It's about being a salesman, being the best you could be at your job,
Yeah.
making sure your guys are the best they could be at their job,
Yeah.
and make sure you have confidence in yourself and your crew to be the best.
Yeah, you're entrepreneurial endeavor through it all. Yeah. Have you read any books?
Yeah.
I feel like this is how I love when I end like, because we're coming towards the end of the podcast.
We'll end it on this.
You read any books?
I read some books. The most inspirational book I've read within the last 6 months, probably Cameron Haynes. You know who Cameron Haynes is?
Yep.
I read that book.
What's it called? You don't remember it?
Endure by Cameron Haynes. Endure. That book will change your life. It's about him running 200-mile just shit through the mountains, killing elk, and
Yeah, Cameron Haynes is a beast.
he's a beast. Dawson swears by the David Goggins Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah, man, I got it.
You've read it?
I haven't read it, but I got it back here. Right behind you. Yeah, on bookshelf.
Can I rent it?
Yeah, you can rent it. You can have it, man. Take it. If you're going to read it, you can have it tonight.
Dawson, I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
Dawson swears by the book.
If we after this podcast we go upstairs, you look on the side of my fridge. The 10 lessons you learned from Can't Hurt Me out of David Goggins' book is magnetized to the side of my.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Jeez.
serious. It's at the gym too. It's bulletin in my office at the gym.
No shit.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I read Endure by Cameron Haynes. Phenomenal book. Read other books that are not so inspirational.
But you need to read, and I'm telling you this because those books are great and they help you with things mentally as a person.
Right.
They help you mentally.
And physicality.
Yeah, but
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This guy, Robert Kiyosaki, is a madman. He wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which will change the way you look as an entrepreneur. You have to, if you're going to make it somewhere in the entrepreneurial world, it's where things start to change. Because you're spinning your wheels. I'm trying to tread lightly because I don't want to make it sound bad for anybody else. But if you're a business owner, you got to change your way in the way you think of money. Because if you think about money the same way as an employee does, you're always going to spin your wheels. You're always going to spin your wheels. You got to start thinking about the way of someone that is a financially educated spends their money, because it's a totally different atmosphere, and it's just another realm. And he talks about every lesson, and he does such a good job at it. He figured it out and he wrote it down very, very well. Now you learn a lot more outside the realm, but if it wasn't for this dude, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, because he changed and because of this guy. And I did when I was painting cars. I was listening to it on audio, like an audiobook, as I was working painting cars, and I was reading it in the afternoon because I couldn't take the information in well because I'm not a good reader, and I have ADHD or ADD. So when I'm listening to a podcast and I hear something, or I listen to an audiobook and I hear something, I start thinking.
Right.
And I'll go 3 chapters and I haven't heard a single word because I'm thinking now. But these changed my life. They really did. Those changed financially the way I look at money, and that's the only reason I own billboards or a business today. I own rental properties because I as a young, hungry kid, I thought it was a good investment in my life. I would not be where I'm at without this guy who taught me how to really change some things that I'm messing up on. And that boat you got, you'll probably want to sell after you read the book.
Oh, I'm gonna sell the boat. I just bought the boat because I'm heartbroken and homeless. I mean, that's the truth. I ain't lying to you one bit. That's terrible.
It's not a bad thing to buy.
I'm heartbroken and homeless.
Do you know Lance Sutton?
Yeah, Lance is the one that told me about the boat. Lance is the uncle of my loan officer that sold me the gator boat.
Oh, really?
Or signed the loan.
I was gonna say you definitely need to hit Lance up. Kayla and Andrew Zeller, if you got a boat, you're gonna really like them. You should take me out on your boat this summer, man.
Dog.
I just try to find friends that like boats because I'm not gonna buy a boat.
Dude, you're always welcome. Don't buy a boat. It's a terrible investment.
Yeah,
But I'll sit here and talk to you about good investments.
I'll ride your boat, and I'll ride Kayla and Andrew's boat.
That's right. And we'll blow all my money, and you sit here and talk to me about how to make more. That's what we're going to do.
But once you do this, you'll start flipping some pages.
I appreciate you reaching out to me about that. We're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up.
We're going to wrap it up. I need you to have Dawson on this thing. Dawson.
Let's do it. We'll set something up. I'll talk to you one day in the gym.
Dude,
we'll set something up.
Let's set up the 2-man thing, like a little Joe Rogan thing where he's got his boy there and stuff like that.
Well, I got some new cameras coming.
It's gonna be sweet.
I think tomorrow my new cables are coming in for my cameras.
It doesn't have to be tomorrow or
No, it won't be tomorrow. But I think that
do it like this summer, this fall type deal. It'll be sweet.
Yeah, I think that once I get my stuff upgraded, I'll have a guy here working on the podcast full time with us. Like he'll be switching camera views and stuff for us.
And you'd love to. Dawson's got a crazy story.
I bet he does, man.
He's got crazy.
I'd love to hear from him. I was kind of hoping you were going to bring him, but I was going to let you do your own thing. I was going to let you do your own thing.
Jeez.
Yeah. But Logan, thank you so much for coming out on the podcast. If you guys are still listening, we are 2 hours and however many minutes in. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share with your friends. I literally have a live counter on my TV right here. I'm at 306 for subscribers right now. I'm going for 1,000. Once I get to 1,000, we can start making some money and we can really start making some upgrades. So give this thing a like, give this thing a subscribe, show Logan some love. If you guys ever need some concrete work, definitely hit him up. First class concrete or first class
flat work.
First class flat work.
Yeah.
Are you on Facebook, Instagram, and
Facebook, Instagram, Google? I have a website. I'll be sure to share the podcast on my stuff. Maybe add that stuff up so you can get some paid for it because I'm looking forward to everybody seeing this podcast, stuff like that. And
they're gonna like it, man.
I'm grateful to be here, man. I'm grateful. It was cool. It was cool to have a conversation with somebody that's so non-biased and just do it.
I appreciate you coming out.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you coming out.
Appreciate it.
All right.